Chapter 41. Li Changye, I know you are touted as unbeatable in your realm, but you may not be able to withstand my Dao array. Separating fire heaven burning formation, activate. Zhuge Changming summoned 8 fire colored banners, positioning them in the Qian, Zhen, Kan, Zhen, Kun, Xuan, Li, and Dui directions. Trapping Li Changye. With the Dao array, the banners blazed fiercely, with 8 pillars of fire soaring into the sky, creating a fiery array. The surrounding air twisted from the intense heat, causing many elders to sweat profusely. What a terrifying Dao array! Zhuge Changming, truly worthy of being Hidden Dragon Temple's chief disciple, can lay down a Dao array in a mere moment. The magic treasure he's using is none other than the low-grade innate spirit treasure, separating fire banner. Such an astonishing aura. Lu Changsheng felt the waves of heat coming at him and quickly circulated his energy to protect himself and Lian from the fire poison. Lu Changsheng, merely a spectator, already felt the boundless heat wave one could only imagine. What the scene was like for Big Brother at the center of the separating fire heaven burning formation. Through the pillars of fire, Lu Changsheng's gaze found Li Changye standing tall on the martial arts platform. Li Changye, clad in his sword attire, stood still as surging energy surrounded him, shielding against the fire poison. No doubt this is Hidden Dragon Temple's renowned separating fire heaven burning formation. But its effect on me is limited. Li Changye moved so fast that he left only a shadow behind. Break. Without anyone noticing, his longsword was unsheathed, slicing through the fire pillars like a streak of white silk, shattering the formation. The next moment, Li Changye's sword was already in front of Zhuge Changming. Zhuge Changming, startled, moved his longsword forward to parry Li Changye's astonishing strike. Li Changye's swordplay was rapid and continuous, like drifting clouds and flowing water, without a single flaw. Zhuge Changming could only defend passively, his wrist trembling violently. Big Brother's physique is the eternal wilderness body. Even if he's stabbed by Zhuge Changming's longsword, it won't threaten his life. In contrast, Zhuge Changming cannot afford a single mistake, otherwise he would lose. Thus, Big Brother only needs to concentrate on his offense, while Zhuge Changming has to defend and look for opportunities to counterattack. Merely defending, with Zhuge Changming's stamina, he simply can't sustain a fight against Big Brother. This, with Zhuge Changming's wisdom, is not hard to understand. But having to defend and counterattack at the same time makes it easier to reveal weaknesses. And each of Big Brother's levels is extremely solid. His spiritual energy inside his chi is several times that of a cultivator of the same realm, plus Big Brother's firm Dao heart. He won't give his opponent any chance to exploit. For Zhuge Changming, this is a checkmate. Second senior brother Song Wechuan analyzed the fight at the side, with precise reasoning. The exceptionally strong special physique, eternal wilderness body, incredibly solid levels, and the spiritual energy that is several times that of a cultivator of the same realm, these are the reasons why Big Brother Li Changye is invincible in the Dao Palace realm. Zhuge Changming excelled in strategizing and deduction, but in a place like the martial arts platform, where there's little external force to borrow from, he was completely at a loss against Li Changye. What's going on? Li Changye is indeed as strong as the rumors say. Now we're in trouble. The Martial Alliance's chief disciple, Elder Yi, muttered under his breath, looking quite troubled. If the Martial Alliance defeats the Refinement Sect, then he will have to face Li Changye. Alliance leader Master Chen patted his leading disciple on the shoulder. Little Yi, just do your best. With 2 out of 3 rounds, even if you lose, we still have a chance. Elder Yi gave a wry smile of helplessness. Even the Alliance leader Master Chen didn't have confidence in him. Master, to tell you the truth, I stand no chance against Li Changye. Inquiry Immortal Pavilions. Chief disciple saw Li Changye's astounding performance and shook his head slightly. Li Changye is invincible in the Dao Palace realm. How can anyone fight against him? You needn't worry, I have already calculated. You may lose to Li Changye, but as long as your 2 junior sisters win, following the best 2 out of 3 system, our Inquiry Immortal Pavilion can still stand above Mount Shu. The little disciple from Taiyuan is merely at the first layer of the Dao Palace realm, and definitely no match for Shuiye. Then, the victory or defeat will hinge on the match between Taiyuan's second disciple and my second disciple. My second disciple, Xiao Menger, has a talent akin to mine, slightly inferior to Li Changye, but Superior to Song Wuchuan, no matter how you calculate it, it's 2 wins and 1 loss. This time, we'll finally be able to thoroughly humiliate that old man from Taiyuan. Despite witnessing Li Changyi's monstrous talent, the Fairy Pavilion master of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion stayed confident in her plan. The fight continued on the martial arts platform, with Li Changyi managing with ease, whereas Zhuge Changming 1's sweat had already soaked his blue robe. Stop, I admit defeat. Zhuge Changming conceded voluntarily. Brother Zhuge excels at utilizing various external forces to defeat strong enemies. There is nothing here, and no outsiders can intervene, which does not favor you. I have an advantage. Li Changyi didn't gloat over defeating the chief disciple of Hidden Dragon Temple. Defeated is defeated. I, Zhuge Changming, am not someone who cannot accept a loss. Zhuge Changming bowed and then returned to sit with the elders of Hidden Dragon Temple. He also bowed to the temple master Yu Xuanji. Master, your disciple lacks talent and could not win. Yu Xuanji only nodded without saying much. As expected of the big brother, a man invincible at his level. No wonder the sect leader allowed big brother to act in place of him. With big brother's talent, in a few hundred years, he is certain to become our new sect leader of Mount Shu. Big brother is just 1 step away from the void refinement realm. After Li Changyi returned to his seat, the elders of Mount Shu praised him one after another. The big brother was indeed the foremost among the young elders. Now, let's see how the second brother performs. Second brother, you have to try hard. You can't let the little junior brother shoulder the blame. After big brother Li Changyi defeated the chief disciple of Hidden Dragon Temple, Zhuge Changming, it was the second brother, Song Wuchuan's turn to go up, and his opponent was Zhang Feng, a disciple at the 7th layer of the Dao Palace realm. The result was unsurprising, with Song Wuchuan of the 8th layer of the Dao Palace realm defeating Zhang Feng of the 7th layer. Following the best 2 out of 3 system, Lu Chengsheng no longer needed to fight, and Mount Shu claimed victory. Our Hidden Dragon Temple has indeed grown a bit complacent over the past few centuries. My little disciple Lu Zunxian does have quite good qualifications, it's a pity he didn't get to participate. Yu Xuanji's tone remained unchanged, not considering this competition significant. It's a pity we couldn't see what's so special about Taiyuan's little disciple. The Fairy Pavilion, master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, felt somewhat regretful. She had intended to see what exceptional methods Lu Chengsheng possessed and whether he posed a threat to Sha Ningxie, but Li Changyi and Song Wuchuan of Mount Shu were too extraordinary, achieving 2 victories without a need for Lu Chengsheng to fight. Next up was the contest between Immeasurable Temple and Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. The first to compete for Inquiry Immortal Pavilion is the chief disciple Zheng Yecho, with the cultivation of the 8th layer of the Dao Palace realm, not the match for Master Mingzi of Immeasurable Temple. However, the most talented in Inquiry Immortal Pavilion is not the chief disciple but rather the second disciple, Xiao Menger, who has cultivated for 370 years and is also at the 8th layer of the Dao Palace realm. But what truly draws attention is Sha Ningxie, who has only recently appeared before the public. Zhao Wuyan, who didn't need to participate in the fight, began to analyze on the sidelines, and the attentive elders of Mount Shu nodded along as they listened, wholly engrossed as if they were hearing a story. Chapter 42. Om, Ma, Ni, Bi, Mi, Hum. The 6-syllable mantra, the heaven-ranked cultivation technique of the Immeasurable Temple. The attention of the elders present concentrated on Master Mingzi from the Immeasurable Temple. They saw Master Mingzi radiate golden light all over, emitting a Buddha's brilliance tens of thousands of feet high. The prayer beads, driven by the Buddhist force, transformed into the 6-syllable mantra, suppressing the chief disciple of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. The chief disciple of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, Zheng Yecho, was defeated. The Immeasurable Temple, worthy of its second-place ranking among the sects, with Master Mingzi's comprehension, won't be long before he steps into the void refinement realm, right? The Inquiry Immortal Pavilion is in danger. With the defeat of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's foremost disciple in battle, the pavilion had to play catch-up, looking to turn the tables. The second match is between Master Mingxin of the Immeasurable Temple and Xiao Menger of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. This Xiao Menger possesses an exceptional talent. She had been previously groomed by the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion as the next pavilion master. Zhao Wuyan was endlessly knowledgeable about the secrets of various sects. Lady, please enlighten me. Master Mingxin, please bestow your guidance. Xiao Meng'er, in a light blue dress, held a 3-foot-long sword, circulating the supreme forgetting emotion art. The aura of detachment that filled the air was like that of a heavenly immortal above, untouchable. Your supreme forgetting emotion art has reached the 6th layer. Master Mingxin's face showed a slight change. The supreme forgetting emotion art was a forbidden technique of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Once cultivated to the 6th layer, it underwent a qualitative change compared to the 5th layer. The chief disciple of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, Zheng Yecho, had only cultivated the supreme forgetting emotion art to the 5th layer. After the time it takes to drink a cup of tea passed, Master Mingxin's prayer beads fell to the ground, making a tick-tock sound, and Xiao Meng'er sheathed her longsword. In the second match, the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion won. The Immeasurable Temple and the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion each had a win, temporarily tied. The focus shifted to the third match, Master Minggrang, an elder of the Immeasurable Temple, versus Xiaoningshe of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Master Minggrang is an elder of the Immeasurable Temple at the 3rd level of Dao Palace realm, while Xiaoningshe is the most recent disciple recruited by the Fairy Pavilion Master, with shallow cultivation. It seems that Master Minggrang will win no matter how you look at it. The foundation of the Immeasurable Temple is ultimately profound, worthy of the second largest sect just behind our Mount Shu. Lu, what do you think? A group of Mount Shu elders discussed animatedly, and Zhao Huyan turned to Lu Changsheng. Among the elders of Mount Shu, only Lu Changsheng had some contact with Xiaoningshe. I bet on Xiaoningshe to win. Lu Changsheng said calmly, stating his opinion. 5 years ago, Xiaoningshe was already at the 1st level of the Dao Palace realm. 5 years later, given Xiaoningshe's astonishing rate of cultivation, her progress must have been substantial. Lu, you cannot judge by appearances. In a match, what matters is the cultivation levels and techniques of both sides. We should be realistic. That's right, Lu, you can't bet on her just because Fairy Sha is as beautiful as a heavenly immortal. We cultivators do not conduct ourselves in such a manner. I still favor Master Minggrang more. Master Minggrang is the foremost elder in the Immeasurable Temple for the last 300 years. The majority of Mount Shu elders disagreed, thinking Lu Changsheng was being flippant. Lu Changsheng did not reply, as the disciple apprenticeship simulator was going off incessantly. At this moment, ding, the system has searched for suitable disciple candidates for you, 6, 7, 8. Candidates found. There were many elders with exceptional talents present, and the disciple apprenticeship simulator found a large number of suitable disciples. But Lu Changsheng was also helpless. The system had found disciple candidates such as Li Changye, Xiaoningshe, Xiao Meng'er, Master Mingzi, Zhuge Changming, among others, all direct disciples of various sect leaders. How could Lu Changsheng force them to acknowledge him as their master? Master Minggrang, please bestow your guidance. Xiaoningshe, with bright eyes and white teeth, a face as beautiful as jade and brows like distant mountains, upon alighting on the martial arts platform, immediately captivated everyone's gaze. If not for Lu Changsheng, who had reincarnated through soul transmigration, then Xiaoningshe would be the youngest elder present in terms of years of cultivation practice. As this concerns the ranking of the sect, please forgive this monk for not holding back. Master Minggrang knew that the third match was critical for Immeasurable Temple and Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's rankings, so he went all out. One thought, ice seal. Xiaoningshe circulated her energy, and the temperature around dropped abruptly. Frost spread rapidly in all directions, instantly sealing the entire martial arts platform in ice. The cold was suffocating. A movable king seal. Master Minggrang was greatly startled and hurriedly formed the Dharma seal. A translucent image of the immovable king covered him, preventing the spreading ice. One sword brings cold frost. Dozens of sword chi, as long as tens of meters and cold as ice, slashed through the air, freezing it. 4th layer of Dao Palace realm. With her cultivation age, how is that possible? This woman is truly heaven's favored daughter. In the instant Xiaoningshe's sword was drawn, her real cultivation was revealed, shocking the world. Even Master Minggrang, who had cultivated for over 200 years, was no match for Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's recently recruited direct disciple. The ice sword chi struck the immovable king image, which unexpectedly developed numerous cracks, coated with frost. Flowers chasing the moon. The longsword left her hand, and a flash of glacial light shot out at extreme speed, piercing the golden cracks, passing through the immovable king image, scratching a sword mark on Master Mingrang's kasaya before flying back to Sha Ningshui's hand. Hiss! The many elders present inhaled sharply. If Sha Ningshui had not held back, the flying sword would have pierced not the kasaya but Master Mingrang's chest. It is this monk who has lost. Master Mingrang shook his head repeatedly, a wave of fear washing over him. It wasn't that he had not cultivated diligently, but rather that the other party's talent was too monstrous. Immeasurable Temple, ranked second, has actually lost. Could Inquiry Immortal Pavilion surpass Mount Shu in this Six Paths Great Conference too? Become the number one among the 6 orthodox sects? Inquiry Immortal Pavilion won 2 out of 3 rounds, defeating Immeasurable Temple, becoming Mount Shu's biggest rival. This is not good. Big Brother should be able to defeat Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's chief disciple. But the second brother might not be able to beat Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's Xiaomonger, which means it will come down to the third match. With Sha Ningshui's heavenly endowment, Arlu is likely to lose. According to the 2 out of 3 rule, Inquiry Immortal Pavilion will win. This is Fairy Pavilion Master's clever strategy, and under such rules, Inquiry Immortal Pavilion holds all the advantages. The complexions of the many elders of Mount Shu changed. After some simple calculations by Zhao Wuyan, Inquiry Immortal Pavilion would defeat Mount Shu in the same manner. Although Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's chief disciple is not as good as Mount Shu's Li Changye, Inquiry Immortal Pavilion only needs 2 victories. Big Brother, facing Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's Xiaomonger, I have only a 20% chance of winning. After all, Xiaomonger is the successor trained by Fairy Pavilion Master. If she hasn't reached the 6th layer of the Supreme Forgetting Love Art, I still have a 70% chance, said the second brother. Song Wechuan, with a wry smile. Do your best, we still have Lu as our backup. Li Changye patted Song Wechuan on the shoulder. His tone casual. Could it be that everything now relied on Lu Changsheng? Many of the Mount Shu elders looked unanimously towards Lu Changsheng, who was resting with his eyes closed. In the eyes of many Mount Shu elders, was this not Lu Changsheng giving up on himself? Poor Lu, he's going to end up taking the blame. Zhao Wuyan couldn't help but feel sympathy for Lu Changsheng. It was his first appearance in front of the 6 orthodox sects, and he was up against the illustrious heaven's favored daughter. Sha Ningshui. Chapter 43. On the martial arts platform, 2 figures fought bare-handed, each punch carried the force of a gale and landed with the sound of thunder. Mount Shu's leading disciple, Li Changye, and the Martial Alliance's leading disciple, Yi Wen, were purely competing in martial prowess. Surprisingly, their battle lasted over 2 periods of tea before a winner could be determined. It is said that Martial Alliance's elder Yi, with his unique physique, fought alone and repelled 10 demon sect elders. I didn't believe it, but seeing him fight evenly with the senior brother who possesses the eternal wilderness body, it seems the rumors are true. Zhao Wuyan and a group of Mount Shu elders, as well as elders from other sects, watched the match in silent tension, focused on this pure display of martial technique. Grand Master Chen, you have taken on a good disciple indeed. His physique is as strong as the eternal wilderness body, Taiyuan Zhenren said to the Martial Alliance leader Master Chen, leaning slightly towards him. Ha ha, this disciple of mine excels in character and bears quite a resemblance to my younger days, said Master Chen, stroking his beard in satisfaction after hearing Taiyuan Zhenren's praise. The other sect leaders were also slightly surprised. The Martial Alliance was indeed understated and profound. Yi Wen's talent was sufficient to take up the Alliance's banner in the future. LT Changye, even though I can match you in martial arts, this is under the premise that you, not using divine skills. It seems I still can't defeat you, you freak. I admit defeat. Yi Wen separated from Li Changye and conceded voluntarily. Today's battle with you was intense, and I'm sweating profusely. Truly, the Martial Alliance deserves its reputation as the holy land of body refinement. Li Changye himself was soaked with sweat. Few could push him to this extent. The senior brother has won again. Next up is the second brother. Second brother, you must do your best. The numerous Mount Shu elders were anxiously concerned. If the second brother were defeated, how would the junior disciple Lu Changsheng be able to bear the burden? My physique isn't as strong as the senior brothers. I won't be comparing martial techniques with someone from the Martial Alliance. Song Wechuan took to the stage, wielding Mount Shu's swordsmanship and Taoist techniques. In the ranks of the disciples from the 6 orthodox sects, Song Wechuan's talent was enough to be placed at the forefront, second only to supreme geniuses like Li Changye, Master Mingzi, Yi Wen, Xiaoningshe, and Zhu Changming. Within the time it takes to brew a pot of tea, Song Wechuan had already secured victory. "Thank you for the match," said Song Wechuan, bowing slightly in respect. Mount Shu secured 2 victories first, defeating the martial alliance. Phew, the many Mount Shu elders breathed a sigh of relief. If Song Wechuan had been defeated, Lu Changsheng would have had to compete against the martial alliance's 3rd elder. The final match was between Mount Shu and the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, and whichever sect one would lead the 6 orthodox sects for the next 1,000 years in their joint struggle against the 4 great demon sects. This was a great honor. I originally thought it would be a measurable temple facing Mount Shu, but unexpectedly it's Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Fairy Su of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion has good chi destiny. Her newly accepted disciple is a once in 10,000 years prodigy. Fairy Su's disciple reminds me of someone. And who might that be? Temple Master Yu, the immortal who founded Inquiry Immortal Pavilion 20,000 years ago. She defeated the sect leader of Mount Shu at that time, suppressed Sha state by herself, and exterminated all the high-ranking members of the demon sects. That immortal could be considered the most exceptional genius since the ancestral master of Mount Shu. If Xiaoningshe possesses a similar talent, then the landscape of Sha state could change significantly in a few hundred years. The leaders of the 6 orthodox sects had a longing discussion about this ancient legend. What will be, will be. For now, our Inquiry Immortal Pavilion will be the one to win against Mount Shu. The words of the Fairy Pavilion Master brought everyone's thoughts back to the martial arts platform. Mount Shu's leading disciple, Li Changye, faced off against Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's leading disciple Zhang Yecho. "I am not your match, I admit defeat." Unexpectedly, Zhang Yecho, who was at the 8th level of the Dao Palace realm, knew that he was not a match for Li Changye and conceded directly. The elders of the various major sects were not surprised either. Li Changye was invincible in the Dao Palace realm. Zhu Changming and Yi Wen were both defeated, let alone Zhang Yecho of the 8th level of the Dao Palace realm. The second match between Mount Shu and Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was critical. If Song Wechuan won, then Mount Shu would claim the championship with 2 victories. If Xiaomenger won, then the 3rd match would have to be held, which is to say, Lu Changsheng of Mount Shu would face Xiaoningshe of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Given the terrifying talent Xiaoningshe had shown, if a 3rd match was to take place, it appeared that Inquiry Immortal Pavilion had a greater chance of winning. Brother Song must not lose, otherwise, Lu will have to carry the burden. However, Xiaomenger has already cultivated the supreme forgetting emotion art to the 6th level. Brother Song's chances of winning are not great. No matter what, it is still a better chance than if Lu were to face Xiaoningshe. Both Brother Song and Xiaomenger are at the 8th level of the Dao Palace realm. Brother Song might have a chance. The people of Mount Shu were tense. The match between Song Wechuan and Xiaomenger was of utmost importance. My disciple has cultivated the supreme forgetting emotion art to the 6th level. Song Wechuan is destined not to be her opponent, said the Fairy Pavilion Master condescendingly as she watched the match with the other 5 sect leaders, her words brimming with confidence. Taiyuan, the real person, frowned slightly. Fairy Su, although the supreme forgetting emotion art is one of the top cultivation techniques in the world, it may lead to endless troubles in the future. Inquiry Immortal Pavilion should avoid practicing it unless absolutely necessary. Mind your own business. The second match had already started. Song Wechuan channeled his Earth Rank Heart method, his aura surging violently. With a gesture from his left hand, his longsword emitted a soft cry, soaring into the sky, radiating a brilliant azure light. Privately use it to the utmost, but use it for the public in the greatest extent. Life is controlled by Qi. Death is the root of life, and life is the root of death. Benevolence is born from harm, and harm is born from benevolence. Xiaomenger from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion formed signs with her 10 fingers, and an invisible, ice-cold aura spread around her. Song Wechuan felt as if he was being watched by a pair of ice-cold eyes from the heavens, sending shivers down his spine. Humming, Xiaomenger's blue longsword was drawn from its sheath, bringing an unstoppable momentum as it slashed towards Song Wechuan. As the sword momentum approached, the martial arts platform could not withstand the mountain-like pressure and started to crack. The supreme forgetting emotion art is truly Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's sect-defending skill. Xiao Munger has practiced it to the 6th level, it wouldn't be surprising if second brother lost. Xiao Munger was originally a genius that Inquiry Immortal Pavilion trained to compete with our big brother. Second brother facing her is somewhat forced. The people of Mount Shu watched with trepidation. The fight between Song Wechuan and Xiao Munger was exceptionally intense, the sword chi crisscrossed, leaving the martial arts platform riddled with holes. Streams of invisible sword chi, like swimming dragons, collided violently and dissipated in the air. Dozens of feet of sword chi in mutual attack and defense, the halo of light extended for miles, and the air vibrated with a series of explosive forces raging. The fierce battle lasted for half an hour. And a figure fell from the martial arts platform, planting the long sword into the ground and carving out a sword mark to stabilize his figure. The one left on the martial arts platform was a woman in a light blue long dress. Song Wechuan of Mount Shu, defeated. The crowd was silent, especially the majority of the Mount Shu elders, their faces turned pale. With Song Wechuan defeated, the third match was inevitable. The most feared situation had occurred. Chapter 44. Disciple, with your talent, Mount Shu's Lu Changsheng will definitely not be your match. Sha, being so young with her cultivation having reached the 4th level of Dao Palace realm. Even Master Minggrang of the Immeasurable Temple is not her match, let alone someone like Lu Changsheng. How could he possibly be her opponent? It seems our Inquiry Immortal Pavilion will finally be able to hold our heads high with pride at this 6th Dao conference. Holy Maiden, please go easy on him. No need to wreck the harmony by causing an injury. The elders of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion already felt victory was in their grasp and were speaking in a relaxed tone. Shanning She had recently defeated Master Minggrang of the Immeasurable Temple, whereas Lu Changsheng was an obscure elder from Mount Shu. It appeared that Shanning Shui's chances of winning were much greater. Compared to the relaxed composure of the elders of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, the mood among the Mount Shu elders shifted dramatically. The Holy Maiden of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion is too monstrously talented, even I, Brother Zhao, might not be her match, let alone Lu. There's no disgrace in Lu's loss. Indeed, if Brother Zhao, with his cultivation at the 5th level of the Dao Palace realm, isn't confident about defeating the Holy Maiden of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, how could Lu possibly stand a chance? Alas, our Shu Mountain sect is going to decline to the 2nd rank of sects. Worst case, we'll just have to take back the 1st place at the next 6th Dao conference. Lu, you needn't carry a psychological burden, lest you develop a heart demon that hinders your future cultivation. A collection of Mount Shu elders comforted Lu Changsheng in advance to prevent the younger brother from developing a heart demon due to self-blame. In the path of cultivation, nothing was more feared than being unable to overcome a heart demon, which could halt one's progress or, even worse, lead to deviating from one's cultivation path. Lu Changsheng felt the pervasive air of pessimism among the people of Mount Shu and was left speechless. He had yet to make a move. HMPH, my master will certainly win. Lian waved her fists, voicing her protest discontentedly. Both she and Lin Qingzi believed that their master, Lu Changsheng, who had been secretly cultivating in Mount Shu, was an immortal and would not lose to some holy maiden. Lian, you are still young and don't understand that the gap between some people is greater than the gap between people and dogs. Master Minggrang of the Immeasurable Temple is extraordinarily gifted and still lost to her opponent, which shows that her talent surpasses even that of a peerless genius. Your master has a fair talent within our Mount Shu, but once faced with a cultivation prodigy that appears once in 100,000 years. Victory or defeat is a common occurrence in wars. Sometimes, losing can be a good thing. Lu, you don't have to force yourself. If the situation is unfavorable, it's better to just concede to avoid injury. That's right, gaining no benefit from a lopsided battle is not a disgrace. There's no harm in conceding. The most important thing in life is to be happy. Many Mount Shu elders comforted Lu Changsheng again following Lian's protest, advising him with all earnestness. Lu Changsheng was resigned, but he knew these Mount Shu elders meant well for him. Junior brother, do your best. Senior brother Li Changye knew that Lu Changsheng was out of the ordinary, but he didn't have absolute confidence that Lu could win. He was merely encouraging Lu to give it his all in the battle. I understand. Lu Changsheng carried the 9 Heavens Imperial Thunder Sword and stepped up to the martial arts platform. The eyes of elders from the other sects fell on Lu Changsheng. Mount Shu's Lu Changsheng is truly commendable for his courage. Knowing full well he's outmatched, he still fights valiantly for the sake of his sect, a deed both moving and praiseworthy. This match has no suspense. Finally, Fairy Su of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion will get the better of the Taiyuan real man. With such a monstrously talented disciple in Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, how can they fear not rising to prominence? With her bearing, she's likely to dominate an era. Poor Lu Changsheng, to have encountered an extraordinary woman destined to dominate an era. Mount Shu has been at the top for years, but there's nothing it can do when a generational talent is born. The elders from other major sects generally had low expectations for the little-known Lu Changsheng. Sha Ningxie had also been an obscure elder, but after defeating Master Mingrang of the third level of Dao Palace Realm, she became a well-known figure. A graceful figure landed on the martial arts platform, carrying a longsword on her back, dressed in white surpassing the snow, with skin like ice and bones like jade. Elder Lu, we meet again. Sha Ningxie smoothed her hair and sized up Lu Changsheng. His innate Taoist body always made it difficult for her to see through his current level of cultivation. How have you been recently, Fairy Sha? Fine. And you? All is well without incident. I owed you a favor for saving my life last time, but I've repaid it by handing over the girl from the Huang tribe to you. After going back to the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, I was punished by the Pavilion Master. This time, the matter concerns the honor of our sect, and I won't make concessions. Neither will I. Lu Changsheng and Sha Ningxie stood on the martial arts platform, exchanging words telepathically, as if catching up on old times. The Holy Maiden is acquainted with this Lu Changsheng. It's said that 5 years ago, when the Holy Maiden went on a mission to the Huang state with elders Ku Mu and Luo Feng, the elder dispatched from the Shu Mountain sect was this very Lu Changsheng. Elders Ku Mu and Luo Feng, that's correct, isn't it? That's right. Elder Ku Mu nodded. Despite 800 years of cultivation, his ability was only at the 4th level of the Dao Palace Realm. Among the elders of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, his talent was only average and insufficient to represent the pavilion in combat. Elder Luo Feng, with the cultivation of the 2nd layer of the Dao Palace Realm, had also fled back from the Huang state. Seeing Lu Changsheng and Sha Ningxie reminiscing, his eyes hardened with ruthlessness, feeling somewhat displeased and sighed. He had pursued Sha Ningxie arduously for 10 years without success, yet she was casually chatting with Lu Changsheng, whom she'd hardly met a few times. What did that guy Lu Changsheng have, apart from his good looks? Elder Ku Mu, Elder Luo Feng, what exactly is Lu Changsheng's level of cultivation? HMPH, he is nothing but at the 1st level of Dao Palace Realm, often pretending to be an elder of the nascent soul realm and scheming against others. But in the face of absolute strength, these are merely insignificant tricks. Not to mention Fairy Sha taking action, even I could send him reeling. Luo Feng said disdainfully. With his 2nd level cultivation of the Dao Palace Realm and on the verge of breaking through to the 3rd level, he truly didn't regard the 1st level Lu Changsheng seriously. So, he's just at the 1st level of the Dao Palace Realm. Holy Maiden is at the 4th level of the Dao Palace Realm, and just the difference in realms alone is enough to crush this Lu Changsheng. It seems that our Inquiry Immortal Pavilion is going to rank first in this 6 Paths conference. When Luo Feng mentioned Lu Changsheng's level of cultivation, the other elders of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion completely relaxed. How could the 4th level of the Dao Palace Realm lose to the 1st level? Even with Sha Ningxue's talent, when she was at the 1st level of the Dao Palace Realm, she still had to flee in the face of the 4th level Black Tiger Taoist. Strange, why can't I discern Lu's cultivation level? Elder Ku Mu felt that something was slightly amiss. We may begin now. The cold voice of the Fairy Pavilion Master echoed in the venue. She was already eager to see the embarrassed expression of the real person of Taiyuan, urging the two who were still reminiscing to start. Master urges us on, so, I'm sorry, Elder Lu, Sha Ningxie said with an increasingly serious expression, her sword intent growing whilst an invisible maelstrom of air surged around her, making her skirt flutter. Lu Changsheng drew his sword. Please enlighten me, Fairy Sha. Chapter 45, Taiyuan, there seems to be something off with your disciple, Alliance leader Master Chen had also assumed it would be a one-sided, suspenseless contest, but the moment Lu Changsheng drew his sword, His momentum began to rise, and gradually, Master Chen became moved. Lu Changsheng was not as simple as he had imagined. The abbot of immeasurable temple, Master Wushang, refinement sects Master Lu, hidden dragon temples Yuxuanji, and inquiry immortal pavilions Fairy Su, all of their expressions underwent subtle changes. Lu Changsheng's aura was continuously climbing. Dao Palace Realm 2nd layer. Dao Palace Realm 3rd layer. Dao Palace Realm 4th layer. Master Chen was thoroughly moved. Lu Changsheng's cultivation level kept rising until it reached the 4th layer of the Dao Palace realm, and then it abruptly stopped. What is going on? Lu's aura is rising so rapidly. Elder Ku Mu, sensing the change in Lu Changsheng's aura, was so astonished that he stood up. 5 years ago, when Elder Ku Mu led a team on a mission to Huang State, Lu Changsheng's cultivation was only at the 1st layer of the Dao Palace realm. Had his cultivation progressed so rapidly in just 5 years? Could it be that he's an extraordinary genius like the Holy Maiden, a monstrous prodigy? A shock ran through Elder Ku Mu's heart. Could it be that an era might witness the rise of two such unparalleled geniuses? Impossible, his cultivation was even lower than mine 5 years ago. Elder Luofeng was even more shocked. In just 5 years, Lu Changsheng's cultivation had surpassed his own and left him far behind. His cultivation level is now the same as the Holy Maiden's. This is bad. Mount Shu has kept a card up their sleeve. Now, the outcome is uncertain. The previously confident elders of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion saw their smiles gradually solidifying. With the same level of cultivation at the 4th layer of the Dao Palace realm, the outcome was unpredictable. In contrast to the gradually silencing members of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, the elders of Mount Shu were unexpectedly delighted. So, Lu has been hiding his true cultivation all along. Lu has secluded himself for a century. It seems he had already reached the Dao Palace realm. Lu truly keeps a low profile. To be at such a realm and yet to have never spoken up, if it weren't for this duel, he might have continued to conceal it. If I had such cultivation, I would have wished for everyone in the streets to know. That is where you differ from Lu. Lu has been cultivating for over 250 years, almost catching up with me who has cultivated for 320 years. It is truly shameful. This time, our Mount Shu may not necessarily lose. HMPH, I've said it before, my master won't lose. Little fellow, you win this time. The people of Mount Shu became excited, with Lu Changsheng showing the cultivation of the 4th layer of the Dao Palace realm. They saw hope for Mount Shu. Taiyuan, you've played me. The face of the pavilion master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion did not look good. She had originally thought she held a winning hand, capable of embarrassing Taiyuan, but Taiyuan's little disciple had hidden his true cultivation level until the most critical moment, revealing his true power only then, leaving the pavilion master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion unable to predict further developments. This disciple of mine has cultivated so swiftly, it truly is beyond my expectations. Not even the Fairy Pavilion Master, let alone Taoist Master Taiyuan, could hide their surprise at the level of cultivation Lu Changsheng demonstrated. They had no idea when their disciple had reached the 4th layer of the Dao Palace realm. On the martial arts platform, Shanning She was slightly surprised by Lu Changsheng's cultivation level, but she quickly regained her composure. I knew it, you're not that simple. However, I will not lose. What is ever so private in heaven, use it for the good of all. With life controlled by breath, Shanning She silently recited the mnemonic verse of the supreme forgetting love art, and a cold aura spread rapidly, with the temperature plummeting as the entire martial arts platform swiftly became encased in ice. Her supreme forgetting love art has actually reached the 5th level. This woman is terrifying. Alliance leader Master Chen from the Martial Alliance was moved once again. Among the direct disciples of the Fairy Pavilion Master, only Xiao Menger, the 2nd disciple, had cultivated to the 6th level. Even the eldest disciple Zheng Yecho was only at the 5th level, yet Shanning Shui's inner strength heart method had reached the same realm as the eldest sister. She is an unparalleled genius, following the Tao of longevity. Although this kid Lu Changsheng has concealed his cultivation, having cultivated for more than 200 years to reach the 4th layer of the Dao Palace, he is still worlds apart from my disciple, said the Fairy Pavilion Master, still believing that Shanning She would win as he watched the competition closely. Holding the Nine Heavens Imperial Thunder Sword in hand, Lu Changsheng had yet to use his full strength, merely using the fourth layer of the Dao Palace realm to test Shanning Shui's reality. The Taiching Wuji technique circulated, and Lu Changsheng had fully comprehended the fifth level of the Taiching Wuji technique, sufficient to contend with the supreme forgetting love art. Lu Changsheng's Taoist robe fluttered, his true chi forming a Taiji diagram, slowly spinning around him as the center, blocking the chill of the encroaching ice. Taiching Wuji technique, isn't that the sect defending skill of Mount Shu? After that incident all those years ago, the former sect leader of Mount Shu stipulated that only the supreme elders, sect leader, and the sect leader candidates could be taught the Taiching Wuji technique. I didn't expect you would break your master's rule and pass the Taiching Wuji technique to a junior disciple. The sect leaders of the Fairy Pavilion, Martial Alliance, Immeasurable Temple, and others simultaneously turned to look at Taoist Master Taiyuan. Taoist Master Taiyuan could only give a wry smile. He had not passed on the Taiching Wuji technique and had no clue how Lu Changsheng managed to cultivate it to the fifth level. The Taiching Wuji technique up against the supreme forgetting love art, with the two's cultivation levels being so close, this is going to be quite the show. The elders of the six orthodox sects were on edge as they watched the ultimate showdown. One bore the sect defending skills of Mount Shu, the other carried the forbidden ultimate technique of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Myriad swords returned to origin. Lu Changsheng wielded his sword, executing the Earth rank superior cultivation technique. Myriad swords returned to origin, with tens of thousands of spirit swords formed from condensed spiritual energy appearing in the air, dense and innumerable. Each spirit sword exuded an astonishing pressure, cutting through the ice on the martial arts platform and creating ravines in all directions. Go! Lu Changsheng pointed with his longsword, and 10,000 spirit swords flew towards Shanning Shui as fast as lightning. Ice sword domain. Shanning Shui formed sword gestures with her left hand and brandished her sword with her right. Crisscrossing cold ice sword chi filled the air, and the atmosphere condensed into ice, forming a thick layer. The 10,000 spirit swords bombarded the ice layer, shattering it into a spray of ice shards. Within reach, ends of the earth. Shanning Shui silently recited the mnemonic verse and in an instant, appeared before Lu Changsheng, her stunning visage emerging, followed by the chill of a 3-foot ice sword. Such a swift sword! Lu Changsheng immediately changed his sword technique, the blade reverses, blocking Sha Ning Shui's longsword. The Taiching Wuji technique circulated rapidly, unaffected by the cold. The two contestants matched their sword skills, with sword chi soaring to the sky, a black and a white figure rapidly colliding on the martial arts platform. Shanning Shui was a formidable opponent, but Lu Changsheng urged the Nine Heavens Imperial Thunder Sword, causing thunder and lightning, with dark clouds covering the skies above Misty Peak and silver snakes dancing wildly. An innate spirit treasure. Little brother Lu actually possesses such a treasure. Little brother Lu turns out to be a master, and perhaps, not even I am a match for him. Zhao Wuyan, witnessing the sky darken, with the Taiching Wuji technique, an innate spirit treasure, and Lu Changsheng's ensemble, even Zhao Wuyan lacked the confidence to best this low-profile junior disciple. Chapter 46. Lu Changsheng and Shanning Shui's competition continued through the time it took for 3 cups of tea to steep, and still, there was no winner. Now, even the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion Master couldn't stay calm. With Shanning Shui's talents, she ought to be unbeatable in her realm. But Shanning Shui met a formidable opponent in Lu Changsheng. Lu Changsheng's Taiching Wuji technique was on par with the supreme forgetting emotion art, and with his innate spirit treasure and innate Taoist body, plus his cross-training physique, even Shanning Shui found it exceedingly difficult to fight him. Lu Changsheng seemed to be gaining a subtle upper hand. The sect leaders and elders of the 6 orthodox sects were all shocked. Originally, the emergence of a monstrous genius like Shanning Shui who could suppress an era was enough, but then Lu Changsheng appeared, just as extraordinary. Was it reasonable for one era to produce 2 peerless geniuses among geniuses? If you include Li Changye, who is known to be invincible in his realm, that makes 3 people. Big brother, our junior brother's talent may be no less than yours. This generation of our 6 orthodox sects will be lively indeed, the second brother Song Wechuan remarked with his hands behind his back, sincerely praising Lu Changsheng, who was still fighting Shanning Shui. When the junior brother broke through to the Dao Palace realm, the purple aura coming from The East phenomenon was triggered, and I knew then he was extraordinary. But I never expected that within a few years, he would achieve such an understanding. It's possible that in the future, Lu's achievements might even surpass yours and mine. Li Changye, you Mount Shu people are really not being fair, hiding such an unparalleled genius. If it weren't for Fairy Xiao of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion defeating Little Song, he wouldn't have had the chance to appear. Does Mount Shu intend to hide him forever? Yi Wen, the leading disciple of the Martial Alliance, came over and complained to Li Changye. Li Changye could only give a wry smile. He hadn't anticipated Lu Changsheng being so fierce. Continuing like this, I cannot win. It seems I have no choice but to forcibly use the 6th level of the Supreme Forgetting Emotion Art. The power of the 6th level of the Supreme Forgetting Emotion Art far surpasses the 5th level. Sha Ningxie knew that with normal methods, she would not be able to defeat Lu Changsheng, so she steeled her heart, distanced herself from Lu Changsheng, and murmured the mnemonic verse to delve deeper into the Supreme Forgetting Emotion Art, forcibly using the 6th levels. Cultivation technique she had not yet fully comprehended. Fairy Xiaomonger of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was able to defeat both Master Mingxin of the Immeasurable Temple and Mount Shu's second brother Song Wechuan by cultivating to the 6th level of the Supreme Forgetting Emotion Art. Disciple, no, the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion Master was more familiar with the Supreme Forgetting Emotion Art than anyone, and he knew that with Sha Ningxui's 4th level Dao Palace realm, forcibly entering the mindset of the Supreme Forgetting Emotion Art's 6th level could result in death. Even if Sha Ningxie had the Lingua Holy Body, she could not act recklessly like this. The Inquiry Immortal Pavilion Master naturally wanted to outdo the real person Taiyuan, but not by sacrificing a disciple to win. Sha Ningxui's eyes were resolute. She had already taken half a step into the 6th level of the Supreme Forgetting Emotion Art. Sha Ningxui's momentum was rising sharply, and Lu Changsheng felt as if he were being watched by a pair of cold, celestial eyes, devoid of any emotion high above, eerily close to the Dao he saw within the chaos when cultivating the Taiching Wuji technique. The wind howled and clouds surged around Misty Peak. Nature's spiritual energy quickly gathered towards Sha Ningxie, like the eye of a vortex. Sha Ningxui's face was pale, sweat pouring down, and her delicate body trembled as if she could barely withstand the backlash from the Supreme Forgetting Emotion Art. The Supreme Forgetting Emotion Art was a forbidden cultivation technique of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, not to be practiced lightly, and in terms of power, it was even more potent than the Taiching Wuji technique. But the Supreme Forgetting Emotion Art had a deadly flaw, while the Taiching Wuji technique was flawless. It looks like I can't hide my cultivation level any longer. Seeing Sha Ningxie about to forcibly use the 6th level of the Supreme Forgetting Emotion Art, with himself unlikely to withstand it, and Sha Ningxie also facing backlash, Lu Changsheng no longer concealed his real cultivation level. His aura surged, and his realm reached the 5th level of the Dao Palace. What? Most of the elders from the 6 orthodox sects rose from their seats, shocked to their core. Lu Changsheng's true realm was not merely the 4th level of the Dao Palace but the 5th. To have reached the 5th level of the Dao Palace realm after just over 200 years of cultivation, there were few among the elders present who could achieve this. Lu's cultivation is actually at the same level as mine. Zhao Wuyan stood there, frozen like a wooden chicken. Lu Changsheng's true realm had caught up to his. Interesting. Li Changye and Song Wechuan, 2 outstanding elders of the younger generation from Mount Shu, were also shocked. All 6 sect leaders were moved. They originally thought that Lu Changsheng had reached his limit, but to their surprise, Lu Changsheng still had an ace up his sleeve. My disciple is so steady it's maddening. Grand Master Taiyuan sighed deeply. Lu Changsheng would not easily reveal his true cultivation level unless it was his last resort, a temperament truly rare to find. However, with Grand Master Taiyuan's insight, the steadier one was, the easier it was for them to survive, shrink the earth to inches. Since Lu Changsheng's cultivation had reached the 5th layer of the Dao Palace realm, he took a step, closing the distance with Sha Ningxie. Spiritual energy condensed at his fingertips, and taking advantage of Sha Ningxui's moment of instability due to the backlash from the Supreme Forgetting Emotion Art, Lu Changsheng pointed out with 2 fingers, striking right at Sha Ningxui's Qi acupoint. Tiangong acupoint skills. Lu Changsheng used the heaven rank minor cultivation technique returned by the system to seal Shanning Shui's Qi acupoint and then pointed out several times, sealing a few other acupoints. To prevent Shanning Shui from operating the 6th layer of the Supreme Forgetting Emotion art. With her acupoints sealed, the vast spiritual energy gathered by Shanning Shui co-uapsed, and the Supreme Forgetting Emotion art fell back to the 5th layer. In doing so, Shanning Shui also avoided the terrible consequence of being completely backlashed by the Supreme Forgetting Emotion art. Shanning Shui's forced rise in realm was halted, and despite still being affected and looking lost and disoriented, before losing consciousness, the face imprinted in her vision was the handsome visage of Lu Changsheng. Shanning Shui fainted, falling straight down, like a withering flower, and Lu Changsheng, being the closest, had no choice but to catch her. Embracing a beautiful woman, he felt a warmth and a faint fragrance. Fairy Sha has lost consciousness. This competition is won by Mount Shu. Grandmaster Chen knew the victory was decided and thus announced the final result. Wow! The entire orthodox sects were in an uproar. Who could have imagined such a result when Sha Ningxie, in her prideful stance as the favored daughter of heaven, was about to win? Lu Changsheng, in the end, demonstrated the cultivation of the 5th layer of the Dao Palace realm. And with an unheard of acupoint technique, sealed Shanning Shui's cultivation, foiling her final strategy. Junior sister. Many senior sisters from the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion came crowding around, and Lu Changsheng handed Shanning Shui back to them. Even though Shanning Shui was defeated, she remained a rare cultivation genius unseen in 100,000 years and the future pillar of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Disciple has lived up to expectations. Lu Changsheng put away the 9 Heavens Imperial Thunder Sword and bowed to Grandmaster Taiyuan, who sat in the principal seat. All 6 sect leaders cast astonished glances, and the gaze of the Fairy Pavilion Master contained a trace of displeasure. Lu Changsheng had ruined her opportunity to finally humiliate Grandmaster Taiyuan. Not only that, the Fairy Pavilion Master's gaze was complex, as if she was also worried that Lu Changsheng might entice away the highest talent of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, the Holy Maiden. Surely the Fairy Pavilion Master wouldn't become furiously embarrassed and later unsheath her sword to pursue and kill him, right? Chapter 47. Lu, I didn't expect you to hide your cultivation level, making us worry needlessly. After Lu Changsheng stepped off the stage, Zhao Wuyan was the first to greet him. Lu Changsheng had won his approval. Haha, I thought for a moment that our Mount Shu was going to temporarily lose its top ranking. If it weren't for Lu, our Mount Shu would have dropped from first to chasing second, behind the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Lu will surely be given important responsibilities by the sect in the future. Congratulations, Lu. One after another, the elders of Mount Shu congratulated Lu Changsheng. A century of seclusion, and an epiphany in a single day, that's all. Lu Changsheng humbly returned the gesture. His rapid progress in cultivation was not without an excuse. For one thing, the former Lu Changsheng had been in seclusion for a century, and no one knew what had happened to the deeply hidden Lu during that time. Secondly, the possibility of sudden enlightenment exists in this world. Hearing the Tao in the morning and becoming an immortal by evening is not impossible. The swift advance in Lu Changsheng's cultivation could be fully explained as an epiphany. An epiphany is a chance that most people never encounter. Lu is indeed fortunate to have such an experience, Song Wechuan remarked with emotion. All the elders nodded in agreement. Most of the elders present had never had an epiphany themselves, they could only rely on arduous cultivation to gradually increase their levels of cultivation. Big brother, I've offended the Pavilion Master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, you'll back me up. Right, what Lu Changsheng feared the most was the possibility of the Pavilion Master seeking retribution. With Lu Changsheng's current level of cultivation, it was naturally not possible for him to contend with the 6 great sect leaders who had lived for thousands of years. Li Changye spoke with profound meaning, although the Pavilion Master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion does not get along with our sect leader, that is only superficial. In reality, the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion is our closest collaborator, so you need not worry that the Pavilion Master will seek revenge. Lu Changsheng felt completely relieved. So, the Pavilion Master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was just a Tsunere. No wonder, during the last mission in Huang State, Inquiry Immortal Pavilion insisted that Mount Shu contribute manpower. The Taiching Wuji technique is the sect defending skill created by our Mount Shu's ancestor. Lu, when did you learn it? The voice of Taoist Taiching rang in Lu Chengsheng's ear, startling him. The Taiching Wuji technique was actually a skill created by the Mount Shu ancestor. Lu Chengsheng hesitated only slightly before replying, "During my seclusion, the ancestral master came to me in a dream and imparted the Taiching Wuji technique to me. It seems you truly have a celestial fate with our Mount Shu." Taoist Taiching did not doubt his words and asked no further. Lu Chengsheng had been cultivating in Mount Shu all along. Apart from the ancestor coming to him in a dream, what other ways could he have learned the Taiching Wuji technique? Ancestor Taoist Taiching of Mount Shu is a legendary immortal who is said to have attained Tao and became an immortal tens of thousands of years ago, and he was also the first sect leader of Mount Shu. The ancestor appearing in a dream is recorded in the Mount Shu scriptures. Lu Chengsheng had seen similar legends while perusing the Mount Shu scriptures, so he used one casually. "You all go rest first. The other sect leaders and I need to discuss how to deal with the impending catastrophe." Yes, Li Chengye, Song Wechuan, Zhao Wuyan, Lu Chengsheng, and the other elders of Mount Shu headed to the dwellings prepared for them by Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, leaving only the 6 great sect leaders. This catastrophe is not just a grudge between the Huang tribe and the demon race, it also involves old grievances that must be settled once and for all, Taoist Taiyuan slowly said after the elders had left. Accompanied by the elders of Mount Shu, Lu Chengsheng arrived at their temporary residence. Misty Peak was filled with birdsong and fragrant flowers, shrouded in mist, like a paradise on earth, with spiritual energy as dense as that of Mount Shu. All 6 orthodox sects chose the earth's spirit veins as the site for establishing their sects, a genuine cave heaven blessed land. Lu Chengsheng immediately began to meditate, digesting the enlightenment gained during his fight with Shaning She. Having spent a long time in secluded cultivation on Mount Shu, Lu Chengsheng had limited practical experience. Competing with a peerless genius like Shaning She was a rare opportunity, from which Lu Chengsheng benefited greatly. Without realizing how the time had passed, when Lu Chengsheng opened his eyes, it was already nighttime. But outside the house, it was far from peaceful. Lu Chengsheng extended his divine sense to perceive the situation outside the house. He saw a group of elders and disciples from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion gathered outside the houses where the people of Mount Shu were staying, chattering ceaselessly. A few elders, including Zhao Wuyan, were holding them back. Could it be that they were looking for trouble with me, to support Shaning She? Lu Chengsheng used the technique of 10,000 li tracking, to send out a wisp of spiritual energy and quietly listen to what the elders from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion were discussing. Ahem, even though I, Zhao Wuyan, am a renowned figure who has been famous for a long time, and the number of demon sect elders who have fallen to my chasing wind sword may not be in the double digits, there are at least 7 or 8. Therefore, I'm quite charming. But men and women should be cautious. If word gets out that you fairies from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion are visiting the dwellings of us Mount Shu elders at night, it might provoke some gossip, damaging the reputation of both Mount Shu and Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Zhao Wuyan faced a group of female elders and female disciples from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Talking non-stop, Zhao Wuyan had cultivated in Mount Shu for 320 years. He had left the mountain to gain experience many times and was one of Taoist Taiyuan's direct disciples. He had a bit of fame among the 6 orthodox sects. Most of these female elders and female disciples from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion must have been attracted by his charm. "Elder Zhao, we're not here to find you. That's right, we've come to visit Elder Lu. It's the Elder Lu who had an exchange with our holy maiden during the day." A group of female elders and female disciples from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion spoke sweetly, like birds chirping and swallows twittering. Inquiry Immortal Pavilion had the highest number of female disciples among the 6 orthodox sects. There's no need to mention a measurable temple, it's all monks and doesn't admit female disciples. The Martial Alliance is a group of body refinement fanatics. Although they also have female disciples, the number is ultimately not large. The refinement sect is similar to the Martial Alliance. Mount Shu and Hidden Dragon Temple are non-discriminatory, with similar numbers of male and female disciples. Because all the past pavilion masters of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion were women, the sect has more women than men. So this group of female elders and female disciples from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion came for me. Could it be they were dissatisfied with the outcome from the daytime? Zhao Wuyan, upon hearing that these fairies weren't here to see him, suddenly felt his face flush. With embarrassment, extremely awkward, since you are here to find Lu, I even more so cannot let you in. The competition during the day was fair and square. Our Lu excelled by a notch, and you cannot be unsatisfied and come here to trouble him again. Zhao Wuyan was truly a good senior brother. Lu Changsheng, observing in secret, was deeply touched. Elder Zhao, who said we came to trouble Elder Lu? We wish to discuss cultivation matters with Elder Lu. Please don't obstruct us, Elder Zhao. Elder Lu is really so handsome, and with such high cultivation he surely can provide us with guidance. PFF'd. Zhao Wuyan almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. Coming here to discuss cultivation in the middle of the night. Could it be that during the daytime competition, this group of female elders and female disciples from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion took a fancy to Lu? Lu, having cultivated for over 200 years, was indeed youthful and promising compared to Dao Palace practitioners whose lifespan stretched over a millennium, comparable to a mortal in their 20s. We have to see what our Lu wants. I'll go in and ask him. Zhao Wuyan had no choice but to go in and inform Lu Changsheng about the situation. Lu Changsheng, who had been observing secretly, already knew the ins and outs of the situation. And indifferently said, please be the bad guy for me, Brother Zhao, and turn these people away. Lu Changsheng was not interested in the group of female elders and female disciples outside the room, so he had Zhao Wuyan send them away. Lu is truly a man full. He doesn't know the hunger of the starving. The female elders from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, with their beauty that could topple cities and states, have always been considered prime candidates for Dao companions. Zhao Wuyan could not help but feel envious. Unfortunately, the many female elders and female disciples from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion had their hearts set on Lu Changsheng, who had made quite the impression at the Great Dao Conference, rather than on him, Zhao Wuyan. Junior brother Lu is currently in closed-door cultivation. Fairies, please leave. Elder Lu really is diligent, no wonder his cultivation is so high. Let's go back, sisters. We'll come again tomorrow. The group of fairy-like women from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion did not linger any longer and took their leave. It seems that being too popular isn't necessarily a good thing. Lu Changsheng shook his head helplessly. That said, I wonder how Shanning Shay, who had suffered the backlash from the Supreme Forgetting Love Art, is faring. With the fairy pavilion master around, Shanning Shay shouldn't incur any hidden problems because of this. The night was deep, and Lian in the next room was fast asleep, snoring loudly, while the martial King Divine Physique continued to devour the nature's spiritual energy of Misty Peak even in sleep. Lu Changsheng, having some insights, left the room and walked to a nearby bamboo forest to stroll. The moonlight was frosty, and the bamboo shadows swayed. Suddenly, Lu Changsheng faintly heard the sound of reading coming from hundreds of steps away. Ding, the system has searched and found a suitable candidate for discipleship. One has been found. Chapter 48. In the depths of the bamboo forest, there was a solitary bamboo house, the dwelling of a menial servant at Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, seemingly forgotten by the rest of the world. Lu Changsheng received a notification from the disciple apprenticeship system that there was a suitable candidate for discipleship nearby. Originally, Lu Changsheng assumed that it was yet another peerless genius from the great sects. But following the system's prompt to this place, he discovered that this was not the case. All the great sects employed a group of menial servants, who took care of various trivial matters. And at the end of the month, they could collect a salary to support their families. How could there be a peerless genius living as a menial servant in the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion? Arriving at the bamboo house as well, Lu Changsheng saw a girl in plain clothes sitting at the edge of the well, holding a yellowed scroll, softly reciting in the moonlight. Her eyebrows were like willows, her shoulders carved with precision, her waist tied with elegance. Her spirit serene as an orchid. Even in plain clothes, she could not hide the temperament of a lady from a prestigious family. Reading under the moonlight, the years were peacefully quiet. Could it be that the disciple the system found was this person? From her clothing, she was undoubtedly one of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's menial servants. The information about this girl appeared in Lu Changsheng's mind. Name: Mo Waji. Talent: body of the literary sage, book addict, water spirit root, plagued by misfortune. Cultivation: first level of the foundation establishment realm. Dao bone: 17 years. Body of the literary sage. Lu Changsheng was secretly astonished. He had seen records about the body of the literary sage in the annals, records of special physiques through the ages. At Mount Shu, the body of the literary sage had appeared 3 times, all at Hidden Dragon Temple. According to the records, the current temple master of Hidden Dragon Temple, Yu Xuanji, was indeed endowed with the body of the literary sage. When the literary sage cultivated to a profound realm, they could deduce the secrets of heaven, craft Tao talismans, and it was said that at the peak, mere words could follow the law, allowing them to prove the Tao through literature. Who could have imagined that among the menial servants of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, there would be such a peerless talent? However, this girl's fate was poor, afflicted with the calamity body, otherwise, with her talents, she would not have fallen to the point of being a menial servant on Misty Peak. If Yu Xuanji, the temple master of Hidden Dragon Temple, knew that this girl also had the body of the literary sage, he would certainly try to take her as a disciple. You, who are you? Mo Waji was immersed in reading Under the Moon, until Lu Chengsheng came beside her, only then did she notice, looking like a startled rabbit, she quickly put away the book behind her. Truly a book addict. Lu Chengsheng thought back to his previous life, when he couldn't be as absorbed in reading as she was. Don't be afraid, I am a good person. Even though Lu Chengsheng said this, Mo Waji's eyes were still full of suspicion. Many bad people say they are good people. Lam Elder Lu Chengsheng from Mount Shu. In order to gain her trust, Lu Chengsheng had no choice but to reveal his identity. Lu Chengsheng. Mo Waji thought for a moment, her expression gradually becoming delighted. I have heard of you. You defeated our Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's Holy Maiden in the daytime competition. The whole Misty Peak has been talking about it. Oh, since she knew of his reputation, then earning her trust should be very simple. I see your root bone is exceptional. Would you be willing to take me as your master, embarking on the path of immortal cultivation? We have many more books in Mount Shu than Inquiry Immortal Pavilion has. The sea of books is vast. Even if I had 1,000 years of lifespan, I could hardly traverse all of it. And you, a mere mortal, the books you have read are but a drop in the ocean. Follow me in cultivation, and you can attain longevity. Lu Chengsheng started to coax her into becoming his disciple. This girl was a book addict and was easily coaxed. Ah, Mo Waji was indeed greatly moved. If she could cultivate the Tao of longevity, then she could read all the books in the world. But I have signed a contract with Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. I must be a menial servant on Misty Peak for life. Mo Waji thought of her fate and sank into despondence. It seems this disciple has a story. If Mo Waji were a female disciple of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, it would be rather tricky, but Mo Waji was just a menial servant. Lu Chengsheng had a bit of a relationship with Shaningshe, and when the time came, he could just shamelessly approach Shaningshe to request a menial servant. It wasn't a problem. As long as you become my disciple and my third disciple, I have ways to get Inquiry Immortal Pavilion to free you. From now on, you'll be a disciple of Mount Shu. Really? Mo Waji's eyes were filled with surprise and curiosity. Indeed, Lu Chengsheng worried that this potential disciple might be discovered by Yu Xuanji of Hidden Dragon Temple, so he was eager to coax her into apprenticeship as the proper course. Yu Xuanji could divine the secrets of fate and would be very likely to discover the existence of Mo Waji. Master above, please accept your disciple Mo Waji's bow. Knowing this was a fateful encounter, Mo Waji put away the books, straightened out her plain clothes, and respectfully performed the disciple's salute to Lu Chengsheng. Very good. From now on, you are my disciple, Lu Chengsheng. Tomorrow I will come for you, and you will accompany me to visit Fairy Sha of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion and retrieve your contract. To visit the Holy Maiden. Mo Waji exhibited an incredulous expression. Her master was indeed a personage of Mount Shu, able to meet directly with the Holy Maiden of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. As someone in charge of managing this bamboo forest for the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, even meeting an intersect disciple was difficult, let alone the revered Holy Maiden of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Why would such an important figure take her, a humble menial worker, as a disciple? Lu Chengsheng sensed Mo Waji's bewilderment and spoke deliberately. There are prancing horses after there's bowl. You are an unmatched genius, do not doubt your aptitude. Under my guidance, focus on your cultivation and studies. It's not impossible for you to become a saint one day. Become a saint? Mo Waji had never dared to imagine that. She merely wished to study earnestly. I see your temperament is not that of an ordinary menial worker. Are you willing to tell me about your family? Yes, master. I am the daughter of a great Confucian from Yu country. My grandfather once served as the tutor to the crown prince. Later, due to false accusations, my family was dragged into a case of rebellion against the prime minister, which implicated our entire clan. To protect me, my father had his servants send me to the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Although I serve as a menial worker and am considered a servant, it is far better than being executed after the autumn harvest. I was only 5 years old at that time. Fortunately, the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion had many books, and even as a menial worker, I could peruse a few. I don't think managing the bamboo forest is a harsh task. As Mo Waji recounted her past, a hint of pain crossed her eyes, which quickly dissipated into acceptance. This disciple was indeed plagued by misfortune, her family ruined and herself sold to the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion for refuge at the age of 5. Otherwise, with Mo Waji's body of the literary sage and her upbringing in a prestigious family, she would have achieved some level of cultivation by now. She could have been a disciple or even an elder of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, not merely a menial worker. But it was precisely because of Mo Waji's destiny as plagued by misfortune that she became a pearl cast into the ocean, which Lu Chengsheng happened to pick up. Her mindset was also commendable. Even with her family destroyed, she did not wallow in self-pity. I have a system that can simulate a disciple's entire life, enough to reverse her fate and help her become a saint. And I, too, stand to benefit from this. Lu Chengsheng was not concerned about Mo Waji's calamity body destiny. After all, with the disciple apprenticeship system in hand, as long as it wasn't a heavenly tribulation-level disaster, he had ways to turn peril into safety. Go back and rest now. I will come for you in the morning. Lu Chengsheng was not in a hurry to impart power to his newly acquired disciple but decided to visit Shaningshe the next day. With a thought, Lu Chengsheng employed shrink the earth to inches and vanished on the spot. Master. Before Mo Waji could even bid farewell, Lu Chengsheng had already left. Am I dreaming? Mo Waji pinched her cheek, suspecting it was all a dream. To the menial workers like her, an elder of Mount Shu was undoubtedly an immortal. And an immortal had taken her as a disciple. Did she possess some unique traits? Maybe I should go to sleep. Mo Waji looked out over the empty bamboo forest, where other than a touch of moonlight, no one else was present, and felt like she was still dreaming. The next morning, Mo Waji woke up to another ordinary day. It seems I really was dreaming last night. I mustn't study into the night anymore, it's causing hallucinations. Shaking her head, Mo Waji picked up a wooden bucket to go fetch water from the well, starting another day of menial work. Suddenly, a sword appeared from the west, landing in the middle of the bamboo forest. There were 2 visitors. One was a man with long hair, a celestial appearance, and handsome features, the other was a girl around 12 or 13 years old, curiously staring at her, sizing her up. Elder Lu, no, master. Mo Waji, fetching water by the well, was taken aback. Lu Chengsheng had really come. Last night hadn't been a dream after all. Follow me to the Cloud Dream Pavilion of Misty Peak. Lu Chengsheng smiled slightly, increasingly pleased with his easy recruitment of a disciple with the body of the literary sage. The Cloud Dream Pavilion, one of the 480 pavilions of Misty Peak, was also the cultivation dwelling of the holy maiden Shaningshe. Lu Chengsheng took his 2 disciples to visit and to buy the new little disciple's freedom. Holy maiden, Lu Chengsheng of Mount Shu requests an audience. In the clear pond of the Cloud Dream Pavilion, Shaningshe, with her long black hair cascading down, soaked in the pond water, her skin fair as curd, shrouded in mists. After the recent trial, Shaningshe had quickly recovered thanks to her constitution. What does he want here? Shaningshe seemed somewhat surprised. What did Lu Chengsheng want by visiting her at this time? Holy maiden, will you meet with him? Bring him to see me. Shaningshe sank deeper into the water, her cheeks flushed from the warmth of the pool. But, after all, what did Lu Chengsheng want with her? Chapter 49. Elder Lu, may I ask what brings you to my Cloud Dream Pavilion today? Yesterday at the event, I regrettably won against Fairy Sha. I hope Fairy Sha will forgive me. Since it was a competition, there naturally exists a distinction between victory and defeat. Elder Lu was superior in skill, and I feel utterly convinced by my loss. Why then would Elder Lu feel the need to apologize? More than that, Xiaoningshe was more concerned about the person Lu Changsheng had brought with him. Although Mo Waji did not possess the ethereal immortal chi of Xiaoningshe, she was gentle and elegant, with a scholarly air that gave her a unique charm. The question was, why had Lu Changsheng brought her here? This person is a servant from your inquiry immortal pavilion, responsible for overseeing a small bamboo forest. With her temperament, it's a pity for her to serve as a servant. Therefore, I would ask Fairy Sha to retrieve her contract and restore her freedom. Of course, I am not unreasonable. I am willing to exchange a 5th grade elixir pill for a servant from the inquiry immortal pavilion. Lu Changsheng took out a small jade bottle containing a 5th grade elixir pill. A 5th grade elixir pill, let alone exchanging it for one servant, would be more than enough for 10. Elder Lu, although a 5th grade elixir pill is precious, our inquiry immortal pavilion would not casually exchange our servants or disciples. If you have come only to satisfy a selfish desire, then please leave. Xiaoningshui's tone turned progressively colder. Please don't misunderstand, Fairy Sha. I saw that her root bone was quite good, so I intend to take her as my disciple, that's all. Seeing that Xiaoningshe had misunderstood, Lu Changsheng hastened to explain the reason. Is that all? Xiaoningshui's tone softened. Then, Xiaoningshe worried inwardly. Alas, what am I fussing about? If Elder Lu wants to take a servant away, that's the servant's fortune. What has it to do with me? If Fairy Sha feels a 5th grade elixir pill is insufficient to exchange for a servant, then a 6th grade pill should surely suffice. Lu Changsheng, thinking Xiaoningshe wouldn't be so easily persuaded, increased his offer. Unexpectedly, Xiaoningshe pushed both the 5th and 6th grade elixir pills back. It's her opportunity to become your disciple, which is a delightful tale in itself. As long as she agrees, I can retrieve her contract. Our inquiry immortal pavilion is not short of servants. Beneath Misty Peak, numerous people wish to serve our inquiry immortal pavilion as servants. It was my vulgarity showing. Lu Changsheng had not expected Xiaoningshe to be so amenable, not even tempted by a 6th grade elixir pill. Xiaoningshui's character was indeed rare in this world. Would you like to? Xiaoningshe looked towards Mo Waji. Mo Waji nodded earnestly. I wish to follow master and cultivate. Since it is your own wish, then go with him. I will have someone fetch your contract. Many thanks, holy maiden. Mo Waji had not expected to escape the fate of a servant one day and was overwhelmed with joy. So, does this mean that I am now a senior sister? Lian also appeared exceedingly excited. Although she was younger than Mo Waji, having entered the sect 5 years earlier, that made her the senior sister. Disciple, do not be rude. As a senior sister, you must take care of your junior sister in the future. Lu Changsheng exhorted. Lian understands. Lian stuck out her tongue, wondering why she now, as a senior sister, didn't seem to have it better than when she was a junior sister. Her second and third disciples respectively, the martial god and the literary sage, would make Qingyan Peak livelier than ever. Elder Lu, now that the matter you besieged has been handled, you may leave. Someone, show him out. Hold on, in addition to requesting Fairy Sha for her disciple, I have something else. Fairy Sha has suffered a backlash from her cultivation technique, and her soul may be damaged. Here is a 6th rank soul supplement pill that can eliminate any future problems. Please, do not refuse it. Having taken on a disciple, Lu Changsheng felt he owed a favor. Lu Changsheng hadn't given up on the idea of taking Xiaoningshe as his own disciple. Xiaoningshui's talent was terrifyingly immense. Even without a system, her cultivation was advancing by leaps and bounds, truly the son of fortune of this world. Since it's a kind gesture from Elder Lu, and I do indeed need this elixir, then I shall accept it and will surely repay you in the future. Xiaoningshe saw that Lu Changsheng was sincere and found it hard to refuse, especially since her injury had not fully healed, and a soul supplement pill was a rare 6th rank elixir. However, if Xiaoningshe knew that Lu Changsheng was trying to improve her opinion of him just to make her his disciple, she would surely be full of question marks. Lu Changsheng exchanged a few more pleasantries with Xiaoningshe, sharing insights from their recent sparring. Lu Changsheng realized that although Xiaoningshui's cultivation was exceptional, she was ultimately a young girl who had focused solely on cultivating and had little experience with the world. Thus, he spoke more freely, squeezing in a few jokes. Xiaoningshe couldn't help but smile and cover her mouth to suppress her laughter. As it is getting late, I will not delay Fairy Shaw's cultivation any longer. Lu Changsheng realized that, unbeknownst to him, it was already noon, and so he rose to take his leave. Sha Ningxie nodded, her conversation having reached a peak, and suddenly came to an abrupt stop, feeling an unexpected hint of reluctance to part. At the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, no one would engage in banter with her. Lu Changsheng summoned his flying sword, waved his right sleeve, and a gentle breeze enveloped his two disciples, Lian and Mo Waji, carrying them towards their lodging at Mount Shu. What's wrong with me? Master once said, from ancient times emotional barriers are hard to overcome. Cultivating the supreme forgetting love art should sever emotions such as joy, anger, sorrow, fear, love, and hatred. Sha Ningxie activated the supreme forgetting love art, suppressing the turmoil in her mind. Suddenly, an overwhelming aura descended, the entire Cloud Dream Pavilion trembling. Master. Sha Ningxie opened her eyes. The person who arrived was the Fairy Pavilion Master. Did that youngster Lu Changsheng come by? Yes. What did he say? He only took a servant from our Inquiry Immortal Pavilion and gave your disciple a soul supplement pill, a 6th rank elixir. I didn't expect that lad to be so lavish. The Pavilion Master of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was quite surprised. It was rare for an elder from an ordinary Dao palace to possess a 6th rank elixir, and for Lu Changsheng to give such a gift was astonishing, even to the Pavilion Master. However, you must not develop feelings for that lad Lu Changsheng. Although Lu Changsheng has cultivated for over 200 years and is now at the 5th layer of Dao Palace, compared with your talent, he is still worlds apart. To you, he is but a passerby. If you fall into an emotional tribulation because of this, you might suffer just like your master. Unable to attain immortality. Alas, I oriented my heart towards the bright moon, but how could the bright moon illuminate the gutter? The Pavilion Master of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion let out a long, melancholy sigh. Master, what actually happened back in those days? Sha Ningxie knew that her master had a past with the sect leader of Mount Shu, but no one among the younger generation of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion elders knew the exact details. That matter, you don't need to know. I have come here on another matter. There's a supreme elder in our Inquiry Immortal Pavilion who, knowing that she has no hope of surviving her tribulation and that her lifespan is nearing its end, has decided to end her seclusion early. She heard that your talent is no less than that of the immortal who founded our Inquiry Immortal Pavilion 20,000 years ago and plans to sacrifice her own cultivation to bestow upon you the power-infusing initiation. Chapter 50. Sha Ningxie was very trustworthy, and the next day she had an inner sect disciple deliver Mo Waji's contract of servitude. Mo Waji formally left her status as a menial worker at the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion and became a disciple of Mount Shu. The news spread, and all the menial workers of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion couldn't help but be filled with envy. No one thought that a lowly servant could have the chance to be accepted as a disciple by an elder of Mount Shu. It was indeed a leap to the heavens. Lu, is this the new disciple you've taken in? She seems to have average aptitude and no cultivation to speak of. However, Lu is a great teacher. The last disciple with average aptitude, Lin Qingzi, was still taught by Lu to reach the Golden Core realm. That's right, Lu has a discerning eye, something we cannot fully understand. Lu Changsheng brought Mo Waji back to where the people of Mount Shu were staying, attracting many elders of Mount Shu to gather around. Mo Waji was surprised and flattered, hiding timidly behind Lu Changsheng. This was the first time she had seen so many important figures. Everyone stop making a fuss, we will commence our return journey to Mount Shu in 2 days. The journey back may be dangerous, so all junior brothers must be careful and cautious. Senior brother Li Changye appeared, and the crowd gradually quieted down. The return journey is dangerous. The crowd's expressions grew slightly solemn. It seemed that the senior brother had received some information. I will go to Mount Shu with Master tomorrow. There must be many books in Mount Shu. Mo Waji was full of anticipation. If she became a disciple, naturally she could access far more classics than a menial worker. Her master had mentioned that the various classics of Mount Shu were as vast as the smoke, and that it would be difficult to go through them all even if she spent her whole life in the Dao Palace. The Great Alliance of the Six Paths, aside from deciding the rankings of the 6 major clans and the discussions among the 6 sect leaders, also allowed the younger generation of elders from the 6 clans to get to know each other, as they may fight side by side in the future. Li Changye, the chief disciple of Mount Shu, and Yi Wen, the chief disciple of the Martial Alliance, had a mutual respect for each other. Lu Changsheng, on the other hand, had visited Shaningshe, the most talented elder of the inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Song Wechuan had gotten to know Xiao Meng, the second disciple of the Fairy Pavilion. Master Zhao Wuyan was rather depressed, as no fairy-like disciples from the inquiry Immortal Pavilion came to visit him. Only a group of monks from the Immeasurable Temple showed up to discuss the Tao with him. Meanwhile, a group of fairies from the inquiry Immortal Pavilion sought to meet with Lu Changsheng but were all turned away by him. If Lu Changsheng wanted to tease the fairies of the inquiry Immortal Pavilion to pass the time, he would rather spend time with Shaningshe, whose temperament was superior by a notch. Subsequently, Elder Ku Mu of the inquiry Immortal Pavilion came to visit, and Lu Changsheng agreed to see him. Elder Ku Mu had once led a team to Huang State on a mission, and the two were old acquaintances. Lu, you had an epiphany one day and your cultivation has soared. Just as the old saying goes, one should view another with new eyes after a mere 3 days apart, said Elder Ku Mu as he picked up his teacup and took a sip, exchanging pleasantries with Lu Changsheng. I may have cultivated a decent level of power, but my experience is shallow compared to Elder Ku Mu. Ha ha, Lu, you are so modest, your temperament truly exceeds your cultivation. That day in Huang State, when we encountered Evil Sword and the Black Tiger Taoist, Sha Ningxie and I managed to escape, but I'm unsure of the aftermath. How did it unfold? Although Evil Sword is a 4th layer elder of the Tao Palace's reincarnation hall, I am as well. And he couldn't kill me. I used Earth Escape divine skills to evade death. If the reincarnation hall had sent an elder with higher cultivation, perhaps I would not have been able to escape. Does Elder Ku Mu know about the strength of the reincarnation hall? The strength of the reincarnation hall is not inferior to our inquiry Immortal Pavilion. The 4 demon sects may not have as many disciples as the 6 orthodox sects, but they have always been able to stand firm because each of them has an impressive foundation. Some disciples of these demon sects even hail from the 6 orthodox sects. Oh, the heart's inclination towards good or evil is but a thought away. Sometimes, a mere stray thought can lead to falling into the demonic Tao. Although my cultivation is not as high as Lu's, I have cultivated for 800 years and have seen much of the world's warmth and cold. Even among the peers of the Pavilion Master, there have been some who lost their way, alas. This matter is taboo, so it is not proper to discuss it in detail. Elder Ku Mu mentioned the sect secrets of the 6 orthodox sects, and Lu Changsheng was greatly shocked. It turned out that many of the elders and disciples of the 4 demon sects came from the 6 orthodox sects. The difference between good and evil was only a thought away. No wonder the 4 demon sects could never be completely eradicated. Lu Changsheng lamented, the human heart is precarious, the Tao heart is minute. Lu, your words are very true. There are less than 200 years left in my lifespan. It has been a great fortune to make your acquaintance, truly a blessing in 3 lifetimes. In the future, we may even fight side by side. If fate allows, we shall meet again. After chatting with Lu Changsheng for a while, Elder Ku Mu took his leave. Lu Changsheng called over his new little disciple, Mo Waji, and began to exploit the system's loopholes. With the disaster looming just a decade and some years away, Lu Changsheng felt that his current cultivation level was not yet sufficient to ensure his safety. Sit still, I am going to initiate a power-infusing initiation for you. If you feel unwell, speak out. Immediately, Lu Changsheng started with initiating a power-infusing initiation for his little disciple right away, directly boosting her cultivation level. Master, you must not. Disciple has read the relevant texts. Power-infusing initiation will harm the Master's cultivation level. Only those whose time is nearly up would do such a thing. Even though Mo Waji was a menial worker, she had read widely and knew the price that had to be paid by the one who initiated the power-infusing initiation. The efficiency of power-infusing initiation was too low, and not worth the loss, as the person initiating it could even drop in cultivation level as a result. I know what I am doing. Are you going to defy your master's orders? Disciple obeys. Mo Waji had no choice but to sit on the cushion, waiting for Lu Changsheng to initiate the power-infusing initiation. Mo Waji's heart was already moved beyond measure. Not only had her master helped her redeem her servant contract, but he was also initiating power-infusing initiation for her. Could this be nothing but a dream within a dream? Having had the experience of initiating power-infusing initiation for 2 disciples, Lu Changsheng was well practiced in the process. He transferred only a thread of faint spiritual energy from the palm of his hand into the heavenly spirit cover of Mowaji. With the 5th layer of Lu Changsheng's Dao Palace cultivation, just the transfer of a thread of spiritual energy made Mowaji's body suffer greatly. Master, it's so hot, my body feels so hot. Mowaji, with only the 1st layer of foundation establishment realm cultivation level, broke into a sweat after enduring Lu Changsheng's cultivation for just half a day. Her zodiac meridians became burning hot. Stay calm, follow my guidance, open your dantian, and you will have set foot on the path of immortality. Lu Changsheng guided the spiritual energy inside Mowaji's body, slowly circulating it, letting her sense how to refine and utilize the spiritual energy for herself. Mowaji struggled to refine this thread of spiritual energy, occasionally letting out pained gasps. Undertaking her first chi training and opening the dantian was naturally not easy. Outside the house, a graceful figure appeared silently. He gave me a 6th grade elixir pill, coming to see him off is the least I can do, Shanning Shay muttered to herself. As the people from Mount Shu were about to leave Misty Peak, Shanning Shay talked to herself. Suddenly, Shanning Shay heard noises coming from inside the house and hesitated, taking a step back. Ding, you have transferred 3 days' worth of cultivation to your disciple, Mowaji. Mowaji actually received 0.5 days of cultivation. Ding, you have received a 200-fold return reward for teaching your disciple, 100 days of cultivation. Ding, number of power-infusing initiations for today -1. Lu Changsheng's cultivation level was too high. Mowaji only needed to assimilate half a day of Lu Changsheng's cultivation and it would already take her quite a while. Mowaji looked gratefully at her handsome master, never expecting that her master, to help her get started, would be willing to sacrifice his own cultivation level. You should quickly refine this thread of spiritual energy. Later on, I will continue to initiate power infusing initiation for you. Mowaji's eyes widened in disbelief. She hadn't misheard, had she? Was her master not afraid of depleting his own resources? Who's there outside? Lu Changsheng, with sharp senses, noticed someone lingering outside the house and spoke out. Chapter 51. Are you performing a power-infusing initiation? Shanning Shay entered and saw Lu Changsheng cease his practice and stabilize his breath, while Mowaji's heavenly spirit emitted white vapor, apparently undergoing a power-infusing initiation. Typically, only elders whose lifespans were nearing their end would weaken their own cultivation to initiate their disciples with their power. Yet, someone like Lu Changsheng, who had boundless prospects in cultivation, was willing to part with his own power for a disciple. Fairy Shah, you've come to visit, what brings you here? That, you gifted me elixir pills, and since you will be returning to Mount Shu, I naturally should bid farewell. Master, should I leave now? Go find your senior sister, she will teach you the method of breathing and cultivation. Yes. Mowaji read the room and tactfully excused herself. My master said, during your return to Mount Shu, there might be dangers. This Earth Escape Talisman can help you travel underground, escaping 3011. In one breath, consider it a return gift. Shanning Shui's wrist flicked, and a yellow talisman appeared in her palm. Talismans, consumable, magical items crafted by divine talismancers in this world, vary in value depending on their power. This Earth Escape Talisman could instantly travel 30 li underground, a top-quality talisman for escaping danger. Because Shanning Shay carried the life-saving talisman on her person, the talisman also had Sha Ning Shui's scent on it. Since it is a kind gesture from Fairy Sha, I would be remiss to refuse. Lu Changsheng knew the other party was not one to owe favors lightly. The 6th grade elixir pills he had given were also highly valuable, thus it was a fair exchange. Lu Changsheng was in fact in need of similar magical items. The talisman gifted by Shanning Shay inspired Lu Changsheng. Going forward, he could definitely give talismans to his disciple, using the system to obtain higher-level divine talismans. The value of divine talismans was no less than that of top-quality elixir pills. Lu Changsheng chatted with Shanning Shay for a while longer before she took her leave. The young disciple Mowaji, following the second disciple Lian, had learned the most basic cultivation and breathing technique and was able to cultivate on her own. Mo Waji, with the body of the literary sage, had immense natural talent in the path of cultivation. She had just never been exposed to it before, which was why her cultivation level was so low, making her an undiscovered gem in the vast ocean. Once she began, even without Lu Chengsheng's power-infusing initiation, Mo Waji's cultivation speed would advance by leaps and bounds. But with Lu Chengsheng's power-infusing initiation, her cultivation speed became incredibly rapid. After spending several days at Misty Peak, the group from Mount Shu then returned to the mountain. Mo Waji blinked. She had only heard of Mount Shu, but with the walking speed of a mortal, it would take 3 to 5 years to travel from Misty Peak to Mount Shu. Lian could already perform sword flight, but Mo Waji had just reached the 5th level of the Foundation Establishment realm, so Lu Chengsheng used his own spiritual energy to assist her. In sword flight, Mo Waji stepped onto the flying sword with trepidation, her body wobbling unsteadily. When it came to courage, the second disciple Lian had more guts, treating the flying sword like a toy and hardly needing Lu Chengsheng's guidance on the technique of sword flight. After all, Mo Waji came from a scholarly family, gentle and refined, and her talent for using magical items could not compare to that of Lian with the martial king divine physique. Maintain your center of gravity, control the sword with your energy. Mo Waji could not stand steadily, but wrapped in Lu Chengsheng's spiritual energy, she wouldn't fall. She quickly adapted. Let's set off. The group from Mount Shu turned into dozens of streaks of light and disappeared. Sha Ningxie stood atop a peak of Misty Peak, watching Lu Chengsheng and his group leave, her garment billowing, "I will practice diligently, and next time, I will not lose to you." After the group from Mount Shu had left, tens of thousands of miles away, within a Senluo Grand Hall, dozens of dark shadows appeared out of nowhere, each with a profound aura. The sect leader of Mount Shu has already led the team away from Misty Peak. This is an excellent opportunity. I will hold off Taiyuan. Destruction Sword, Ju Sword, Sha Sword, Evil Sword. The 4 of you are responsible for seizing the girl from the Huang tribe, and by the way, kill a Mount Shu elder named Lu Chengsheng to prevent future trouble. I do not wish for another. Li Changye to emerge from Mount Shu. Yes. The dozens of dark shadows disappeared, leaving only the shadow on the main seat. Taiyuan, let me see how far your cultivation has progressed over the years. The last shadow in the Senluo Grand Hall disappeared, leaving only dead silence behind. The people from Mount Shu hurried along for a day and chose to rest in an old Taoist temple. After nightfall, with the cultivation level of Lu Chengsheng and the others, they could have continued on their journey, but when traveling, even Mount Shu elders needed to maintain abundant spiritual energy. In case of battles en route. Master, your disciple has already found the feeling of sword flight. Mo Waji was somewhat excited. She had used Lu Chengsheng's spiritual energy to practice sword flight for a day and had basically figured out the method. Once she reached the Qi transformation realm, she would be able to use her own spiritual energy for sword flight. When we return to Mount Shu, I will pick out a suitable cultivation technique for you. Lu Chengsheng knew that different special physiques required different cultivation techniques. During this 6 Paths conference, Lu Chengsheng brought glory to the sect, and the senior brother Li Changye allocated 100,000 sect contribution points as a reward. Lu Chengsheng could use these 100,000 sect contribution points to exchange for various magical treasures, cultivation techniques, and elixir pills at Mount Shu. For Lu Chengsheng, sect contribution points were quite important because the disciple apprenticeship simulator could not return specific magical treasures, cultivation techniques, and elixir pills according to Lu Chengsheng's wishes. However, in Mount Shu's scripture pavilion and elixir pavilion, one could choose the appropriate cultivation techniques and elixir pills and then bestow them upon disciples to obtain more advanced cultivation techniques and elixir pills from the system. 100,000 sect contribution points should be enough to select a suitable set of cultivation techniques and magical treasures for Mo Waji. Master, why are you so good to your disciple? Mo Waji couldn't help feeling moved. She, who had lost her family at a young age, was experiencing warmth for the first time. Lamb the same to every disciple, not just you. Right, Master is the best person in the world. Lian can swear to it. Lian's bright eyes were filled with admiration for Lu Chengsheng. When she was naive, she used to think that all masters would initiate their disciples with power infusing and generously bestow various magical treasures, elixir pills, and cultivation techniques. But as Lian grew up, she learned from other Mount Shu disciples that not all masters were so generous. Her own master was simply an exceptionally good person, even using various precious elixir pills to concoct medicinal baths for her body refinement. There surely was no better master in the world. It must have been my late father's spirit manifesting, leading me to good fortune and encountering such an exceptionally good person as master. Juror will definitely cherish this. Mo Waji also gradually began to admire Lu Changsheng. Junior brother, you take good care of your two disciples later. Li Changye suddenly communicated telepathically with Lu Changsheng. Lu Changsheng looked sharply to the south, only to see waves of demonic qi rapidly approaching the dilapidated Taoist temple. Senior brother, that's the real purpose of you and master's journey, isn't it? Lu Changsheng knew that his senior brother had likely brought Lian on this journey for a sting operation. Li Changye laughed, exactly so. You two, hide behind me. Lu Changsheng stood up, shielding Lian and Mo Waji, his two young disciples. Other Mount Shu elders resting in the Taoist temple also sensed the approaching demonic qi. Stood up, and their faces became serious. Reincarnation Hall, and the presence of the demon race. Chapter 52. Overwhelming demonic qi neared the Taoist temple, bearing down from above with a terror-inducing pressure that targeted the sect leader of Mount Shu and all the elders within. The dilapidated Taoist temple shook violently, the moss-covered stone walls cracked further, and the dry well collapsed. The elders of Mount Shu quickly circulated their cultivation techniques to counter the pressure, their Taoist robes billowing without wind. Two disciples hid behind Lu Changsheng. Even the usually active Lian was now quiet, her little face somewhat pale. She recognized the aura of the demon race that hunted her 5 years earlier. Mo Waji, having just finished cultivating, had never seen such commotion and was even paler. Fortunately, hiding behind her master, she felt a vague sense of security. Her master was incredibly calm, showing not a hint of panic. Indeed, her master was a peerless great figure. This is bad, this is very bad. Reincarnation Hall and the demon race have joined forces to attack, and we at Mount Shu are short on numbers, we could all perish here. Behind Zhao Wuyan, the superior acquired spirit treasure-chasing wind sword was unsheathed, its blue light shining brightly as it arrived in Zhao's hand. The rest of the elders also summoned their own magic artifacts, with multicolored lights soaring into the sky, and powerful auras surged violently. Boom! The already crumbling Taoist temple could not withstand the terrifying pressure from both sides, and collapsed, turning into ruins. Taiyuan, it has been a long time, let's see if you've made any progress today. Within the towering demonic qi, a booming voice sounded, like thunder exploding, making Lu Changsheng's eardrums vibrate. Lu Changsheng protected the two disciples with robust spiritual energy to prevent them from getting hurt. Changye, I will go and confront him, you take care of our junior brothers. Realizing that he must not allow the terrifying presence within the demonic qi to act against the elders of Mount Shu, Taiyuan knew that the younger Mount Shu elders' cultivation levels were not sufficient to face that person. With a thought, Taiyuan summoned an unadorned flying sword, and he alone stepped into the massive demonic qi, after which earth-shattering sounds of battle ensued. Hand over the girl from the Huang tribe obediently, become a slave of our reincarnation hall. And perhaps you may still live. Heh, better to refine them all and turn them into the nourishment for the blood pool of our reincarnation hall. If you are devoured by me, Black Tiger Taoist, your cultivation will surely skyrocket. Hundreds of dark shadows emerged, each with a powerful aura, at least belonging to the nascent soul realm elders of the demon sects or great demons. As expected, Reincarnation Hall has joined forces with the demon race. Tonight, I, Li Changye, shall see what abilities you possess. Li Changye stood with his hands behind his back, looking up at the hundreds of formidable enemies. I will hold off Li Changye. Destruction Sword, Zhu Jian, Sha's Sword, and Evil Sword, you four go. Snatch the girl from the Huang tribe to prevent any complications from arising with the long night ahead. The rest of you, pick your own opponents. A man with a stern face holding a bone sword fixated his gaze on Li Changye. Apart from Taiyuan, Li Changye held the highest level of cultivation among the Mount Shu party. As long as they held off Li Changye, the remaining Mount Shu elders absolutely could not resist the tenfold force of Reincarnation Hall elders and demon race loose cultivators. Kill. The reincarnation hall elders and demon race loose cultivators were ruthless and decisive, eschewing words for action and swiftly making their deadly moves. Lu Changsheng was targeted by 4 reincarnation hall elders, the least cultivator among them being Evil Sword of the Dao Palace Realm 4th layer, Destruction Sword, Zhu Jian, and Sha Sword, 3 reincarnation hall elders with even higher cultivation. Lu Changsheng extended his right hand and summoned the 9 heavens Imperial Thunder Sword. At the same time, in his left hand concealed within his Taoist robe, he held a purple gold bagua gourd containing an 8th grade elixir pill, Red Emperor Dragon Strength Pill. If the reincarnation hall cornered him, he would swallow this 8th grade elixir pill directly, forcing a counterattack against his opponents. Lu Changsheng suddenly remembered that before Sha Ningxie left, she had given him an earth escape talisman. In case of defeat, he might still have a chance to escape with his life. We of Mount Shu must protect this person, our word is our bond. A figure appeared, his second senior brother Song Wechuan drew his sword, and Sword Chi Sword. Like a 100-jong rainbow, illuminating heaven and earth. Song Wechuan stood against 2, blocking the Destruction Sword and Zhu Jian, 2 elders of the Reincarnation Hall. Junior brother, don't be afraid. Today, let me show you how formidable Brother Zhao is. Zhao Wuyan swung the chasing wind sword, its blade swift as the wind, cutting down the elder of the Reincarnation Hall, Sha Sword. Zhao Wuyan used his true chi to propel the chasing wind sword, and it became shadowless and traceless, making it impossible to guard against. Zhao Wuyan was usually talkative, but his cultivation was definitely not low, being famous for a long time. As for the evil sword, an elder of the Reincarnation Hall at the 4th level of the Dao Palace realm, Song Wechuan and Zhao Wuyan intentionally left him for Lu Changsheng to deal with. Lu Changsheng, at the 5th level of the Dao Palace realm, even managed to defeat Sha Ningxie, a peerless talent of the 4th level. The combat power of Evil Sword was definitely not a match for Sha Ningxie. It's you. Evil Sword broke through the blockade of Song Wechuan and Zhao Wuyan, and upon seeing Lu Changsheng standing in front of Lian, he immediately remembered having met Lu Changsheng in Huang State 5 years ago. Back then, Lu Changsheng was following Elder Ku Mu on a mission and had disrupted Evil Sword and Black Tiger Taoist's plans. If Evil Sword's memory served him right, this person's cultivation was at the 1st level of the Dao Palace realm, and because he had disguised himself as having the 9th level of the nascent Soul realm, he managed to trick Black Tiger Taoist and successfully escaped with Sha Ningxie. 5 years ago, it must have been you who took away the person I was looking for, ruined my plans, and caused me to be punished by the Hall Master. Today, you must die. Evil Sword cruelly licked the blade of his sword, his eyes filled with bloodshot rage. With his cultivation, as long as he wasn't careless, killing an elder of Mount Shu at the 1st level of the Dao Palace realm would be a piece of cake. Myriad swords returned to origin. Lu Changsheng also took ruthless action, frantically invoking the Taiching Wuji technique, with sword chi crisscrossing and countless spirit swords appearing, exuding an astonishing pressure. Since the opponent wished to put him to death, and Lu Changsheng knew the latter's cultivation, he did not hold back, striking with all his might from the beginning. The 5th level of the Dao Palace realm? No, that's impossible. The ferocious expression on Evil Sword's face suddenly turned ashen. The little Taoist, who he had met 5 years ago, had now reached the 5th level of the Dao Palace realm, surpassing him by a whole level. You are Lu Changsheng. Evil Sword suddenly remembered the latest intelligence from the Reincarnation Hall. In the 6 Paths Conference, there was a young elder of Mount Shu who demonstrated the cultivation of the 5th level of the Dao Palace realm, and was listed by the Reincarnation Hall as the next Li Changye, someone they must eliminate before he could fully grow. Yes, I am Lu Changsheng. Go. Lu Changsheng wielded the 9 heavens Imperial Thunder Sword, and thousands of spirit swords swirled in the air, like a dragon formed of longswords, with bared fangs and claws. Pouncing towards Evil Sword, the 9 heavens Imperial Thunder Sword triggered heavenly thunder, with lightning flashing and thunder roaring. Amidst the myriad sword chi, there was also the vast might of thunder. No, Evil Sword's face was filled with terror. He could not withstand such terrifying sword chi. Boom, boom, boom. Thousands of spirit swords bombarded Evil Sword, overwhelming him. As the master and immortal, Mo Waji hid behind Lu Changsheng, witnessing the unparalleled cultivation displayed by Lu Changsheng, with countless gusts sweeping across the area, she tightly grabbed onto Lu Changsheng's Taoist robe with her little hand. Her master was truly too powerful. Chapter 53. Disciple. An aged reincarnation hall elder, upon seeing his beloved disciple, Evil Sword, eradicated by a single move from Lu Changsheng, immediately became furious, his forehead veins bulging. Evil Sword was his most valued disciple, who, after cultivating for over 200 years, had reached the 4th layer of the Tao Palace realm and might even have become a supreme elder of the reincarnation hall someday. Yet Evil Sword fell to Lu Changsheng, whom he had met only twice. How dare you kill my disciple, die! Heart-plucking palm. This reincarnation hall elder unleashed a ferocious palm strike, and even before the force of the palm reached him, the earthen walls near Lu Changsheng were already turned to dust. Great accomplishment of the Tao Palace realm. Lu Changsheng saw another reincarnation hall elder attacking and realized that this elder's cultivation was far above Evil Sword's. Lu Changsheng clenched the purple gold bagua gourd tightly, not wanting to use the red Emperor Dragon Strength Pill, an 8th grade elixir for temporarily enhancing his cultivation. Unless it was absolutely necessary. The power of this 8th grade elixir was enough to allow him to counter-kill the reincarnation hall elder. As for the consequences, Lu Changsheng might not have the luxury of considering them. Suddenly, 5 figures descended, and their oppressive might caused the reincarnation hall elder's attack to abruptly halt. Not good. We've been duped. The reincarnation hall elder suddenly looked towards the 5 descending figures, his face changing profoundly. Fairy Su, Temple Master Yu, Grand Master Chen, Master Lu, and Master Wushang. The Mount Shu elders were elated. The sect leaders of the 6 orthodox sects had all arrived. The presence of the 6 sect leaders, who were clearly on a different level compared to the younger generation of Mount Shu elders, meant that even with greater numbers on the side of the reincarnation hall, the advantage lay with Mount Shu. Indeed, this gathering of the 6 paths was fishing law enforcement. Lu Changsheng put away the purple gold bagua gourd. With the 6 sect leaders taking action, there was no need for Lu Changsheng to fight desperately. Taiyuan, haven't you been a bit too despicable? A roar emanated from amidst the demonic qi, coming from the reincarnation hall master. If the demon stands tall, the Tao stands taller. What's the harm in using a small trick against you? Real Taiyuan emerged from the demonic qi and stood alongside the other 5 sect leaders. It's time for the reincarnation hall to be destroyed. The pavilion master of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion unleashed a flying sword, and in the instant the long sword was drawn, its dazzling sword qi lit up the heavens and earth, soaring into the sky and stirring the wind and clouds. This is the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's top-grade innate spirit. Treasure the Severing Affection Sword. I never imagined I'd see the day when the Fairy Pavilion Master would take action. The younger generation of Mount Shu elders, witnessing the 6 sect leaders fight in earnest for the first time, were full of admiration. Cut. The Inquiry Immortal Pavilion Master drove the divine sword, aiming it at the group of reincarnation hall members and great demons. Those who encountered the divine sword and had cultivation at the Tao Palace realm could still attempt to dodge, but the reincarnation hall elders and great demons at the nascent soul realm were instantly turned to ash. Amitabha Buddha, allow this humble monk to liberate you. Master Wushang, in all his majestic glory, radiated with Buddha's light. Behind him appeared a 100-foot-tall 1,000-handed Buddha. Beams of golden light poured down, and the great demons caught in the Buddha's light were charred and turned into wisps of smoke. Yu Xuanji deployed a 9-banner flag, forming the 9-bend river formation that trapped more than a dozen reincarnation hall elders and obliterated them. Compared to the other sect leaders' divine abilities, the Martial Alliance leader Master Chen employed a simple and brutal method of attack, exploding a reincarnation hall elder with one punch and, with a backhanded kick, bursting a great demon at the Tao Palace realm. All 6 sect leaders were beings who transcended the Tao Palace realm. With the 6 of them striking together, they utterly overwhelmed the opposition. Retreat swiftly. Amidst the surging demonic qi, the reincarnation hall master realized he had been outplayed and led the remaining demon sect elders and Huang state great demons in a hasty flight. Chase them. The 6 sect leaders struck mercilessly in pursuit, leaving behind only the Mount Shu elders and a plethora of corpses strewn across the ground. The sect leaders and other factions have set this trap with the aim of inflicting heavy damage to the reincarnation hall and the demon race, to delay the coming of the great calamity. We're going back to Mount Shu. Li Changye watched as the 6 sect leaders left, unworried. The 6 sect leaders were all individuals from 2 to 3,000 years ago, their cultivation unfathomable, not a matter for the younger generation of elders in Mount Shu to interfere with. Are you all right? After the demon race was repelled in the reincarnation hall, Lu Changsheng checked on the condition of his 2 disciples. Disciple is fine. With master's protection, your disciple is safe and sound. Lian and Mo Waji had only just begun their journey and were not even fit to be cannon fodder in such a level of battle. Under the guidance of Lu Changsheng, who knew what would be the case in a few decades. Very good, let's return to Mount Shu. Lu Changsheng regulated his breath and, together with the group from Mount Shu, continued on their way. 3 days later, dozens of streaks of light approached Mount Shu. Is that Mount Shu? Unbelievable. Mo Waji, using sword flight, gaped in amazement upon seeing the suspended Mount Shu. The misty peak of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion stretched for thousands of miles and was connected to the earth, while the peaks of Mount Shu completely floated in midair, like an immortal mountain, incredibly wondrous. Mount Shu being ranked first among the 6 orthodox sects was not without reason. Fellow juniors, there's no need to worry about the sect leader's safety. Return to your own caves. To cultivate, the most important thing is to advance your cultivation as quickly as possible. Eldest senior brother, fellow juniors, I take my leave. Take care. The elders who returned to Mount Shu parted ways, each returning to their own peak to enter secluded cultivation. In the time of great calamity, the higher one's cultivation, the more likely they were to survive. Lu Changsheng took his 2 disciples back to Qingyan Peak. This is where your master cultivates. You and Lian will live together. Yes. Disciple greets master. The eldest disciple, Lin Qingzi, hurried over to greet Lu Changsheng and the others as they descended. This is your new junior sister, the disciple I've recently taken in. If she encounters any confusion in her cultivation, you and Lian should take good care of her. Disciple will remember. First, I will perform the power-infusing initiation for you, and then we'll go to the scripture pavilion to choose an appropriate cultivation technique for juror. Seeing that Lin Qingzi had refined the spiritual energy taught previously, Lu Changsheng was eager to continue the power transmission. A battle between the 6 orthodox sects and the 4 demon sects was inevitable, so Lu Changsheng sought to improve his cultivation as quickly as possible. Lin Qingzi could withstand Lu Changsheng's cultivation of several decades, and the system's 100-fold return of cultivation caused Lu Changsheng's qi to expand, bringing him to the verge of the 6th level of the Dao Palace realm. In a dozen years or so, I might just break through to the void refinement realm. Lu Changsheng's cultivation speed was astonishingly fast. And this was still under the premise of concurrently practicing body refinement. If Lu Changsheng had not also been refining his body, his cultivation might have already reached the 7th level of the Dao Palace realm. However, Lu Changsheng chose the same path as his eldest senior brother Li Changye, heavy accumulation for a sudden breakthrough, to ensure a solid cultivation base and a body as strong as an innate spirit treasure. In this way, although the speed of cultivation slowed down somewhat, each breakthrough came naturally without the risk of cultivation deviation, and he was invincible within the same realm. Even capable of fighting across levels. It's time to go to the scripture pavilion and select a suitable technique for Mo Waji. After transmitting power to his eldest disciple, Lu Changsheng became concerned with the cultivation of his youngest disciple. The youngest disciple, Mo Waji, had the body of the literary sage and her path differed from that of the eldest and second disciple. She followed the Confucian Tao. Chapter 54. Elder Lu, you have come to the scripture pavilion again. May I ask if you are selecting cultivation techniques for yourself, or for your disciple this time? Could he be the Elder Lu of Qingyan Peak? From Mount Shu, who stirred the entire assembly at the Six Paths Conference? Indeed, it is him. Elder Lu is an elder of the Dao Palace realm, and at the Six Paths Conference, he even demonstrated the cultivation of the 5th layer of Dao Palace realm. Good heavens, Elder Lu is the last direct disciple recruited by the sect leader, right? It's unexpected that his cultivation has already reached the 5th layer of the Dao Palace realm. That's something I could never achieve in my lifetime. Oh, come on, for us ordinary inner sect disciples, becoming an elder of the nascent soul realm in this lifetime would already be a great blessing, let alone becoming an elder of the Dao Palace. Realm. As Lu Changsheng appeared in the scripture pavilion of Mount Shu, the surrounding disciples from Mount Shu could not help but cast admiring glances his way. The story of Lu Changsheng defeating the Holy Maiden of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion at the 6th Paths Conference had already spread throughout Mount Shu. Lu Changsheng knew without thinking that it must have been Zhao Wuyan, the gossip-loving senior brother, who spread the news. I'm heading to the 2nd floor of the scripture pavilion. So Elder Lu really has come to select cultivation techniques for his disciple. Please feel free to browse, Elder Lu. With Lu Changsheng's cultivation, he could freely access the first 4 floors of Mount Shu's scripture pavilion. Lu Changsheng now had 100,000 sect contribution points, which was more than enough to exchange for even earth rank cultivation techniques. However, both earth rank and heaven rank cultivation techniques are not suitable for beginners. At least a nascent soul realm cultivation is required, otherwise, they are like reading an arcane text. On the 2nd floor shelves, there were authentic cultivation techniques and body refinement methods such as 10,000 phenomena body refining skills, sit and forget technique, Takshuan skills, as well as various odd and curious books like Records of Special Physiques. Through the Ages, Mad Immortal Diary, Cultivation from Beginner to Expert, Encounters with Fairy Qingxia. There are not many Confucian Tao cultivation techniques suitable for someone with the body of the literary sage to cultivate. Lu Changsheng spent quite some time on the 2nd floor of the scripture pavilion but could not find a cultivation technique suitable for his young disciple, Mo Huaji. Mount Shu primarily focused on Tao cultivation and had never birthed a literary sage, so related cultivation techniques were extremely rare. Throughout history, those with the body of the literary sage had appeared in Hidden Dragon Temple, which possessed a vast collection of cultivation techniques for the literary sages. Physique. Found it. Finally, Lu Changsheng found a suitable cultivation technique. Talent cultivation skills, an upper-grade profound rank technique, belong to the Confucian Tao. If scholars could cultivate it, they could stimulate their own talents by continually growing their knowledge and scholarship, eventually cultivating a unique true qi, magnificent righteous qi. Although it was only a profound rank technique, it was the entry-level cultivation technique for the 3 generations of literary sages from Hidden Dragon Temple. Lu Changsheng flipped to the first page of Talent Cultivation Skills, which contained the preface, written in graceful handwriting with a divine touch to the brush. Gifted to Mount Shu's scripture pavilion by Shengguan Zhaoer of Hidden Dragon Temple. So it's a technique from Hidden Dragon Temple. Lu Changsheng, browsing through Mount Shu's classics, learned of many past events related to the 6 major orthodox sects. Shengguan Zhaoer was a legendary literary sage of Hidden Dragon Temple. Rumor has it that, with talent embodied, her poetry could slay enemies, her words could defeat armies, and her prose could pacify the world. Furthermore, there were rumors that Shengguan Zhaoer could divine the affairs of 50,000 years, with ingenious planning capable of reversing the natural order. The reason the 6 major orthodox sects have stood until today is because, in their ancestry, there were peerless geniuses who emerged to dominate an era. The ancestral master of Mount Shu, Shengguan Zhaoer, and the first pavilion master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion were such legendary figures who ascended to the immortal realm. As Lu Changsheng gazed at the handwriting of Talent Cultivation Skills, he could faintly see an unsurpassable talented woman, her brush dancing as if borne by the clouds, with a paper of prose that could command the imperial pen. Confucian Tao, like martial Tao, is also one of the great ways. Lu Changsheng was filled with reverence. If this former temple master of Hidden Dragon Temple truly became immortal, who knew if there might be a chance to meet her someday? Because of the special nature of this technique, it required 5,000 contribution points. However, compared to Lu Changsheng earning 100,000 contribution points at the 6 Paths Conference, a mere 5,000 contribution points to exchange for the introductory cultivation technique of the literary sage from Hidden Dragon Temple was an incredible bargain. Lu Changsheng continued to select other cultivation techniques for his junior disciple. Elementary talisman crafting skills, a yellow rank superior cultivation technique, only requires 500 contribution points. Lu Changsheng picked out a special cultivation technique. This cultivation technique didn't conflict with the talent cultivation skills and its use was in the crafting of talismans. Talismans, like elixir pills, are classified into 9 grades. The Earth Escape Divine Talisman given to Lu Changsheng by Sha Ningxie was a 6th grade. Divine Talisman. Elementary talisman crafting skills was an entry-level cultivation technique, which upon mastering, one could craft 1st grade and 2nd grade talismans. The body of the literary sage was extremely suitable for becoming a divine talismancer. If Mo Waji learned elementary talisman crafting skills and crafted 1st grade and 2nd grade talismans to contribute to Lu Changsheng, who could then reward other disciples, it would then be possible to receive high-grade divine talismans in return through the disciple apprenticeship system, effectively exploiting the system. These 2 cultivation techniques are enough for Mo Waji to cultivate for some time. When the disciple reaches the nascent soul realm, they can be rewarded with more advanced cultivation techniques, elixir pills, divine relics, and talismans. Lu Changsheng couldn't help but look forward to the scene of his 3 disciples breaking through to the nascent soul realm. Lu Changsheng spent 5,500 contribution points to exchange for 2 cultivation techniques. Lu Changsheng then spent another 2,000 contribution points at Mount Shu's spirit weapon pavilion to exchange for a superior grade spiritual artifact, the White Fox Spirit Brush. In total, he spent 7,500 contribution points. Lu Changsheng still had 92,500 sect contribution points. Lu Changsheng returned to Qingyan Peak and summoned the newly apprenticed Mo Waji. He was about to start nurturing a generation's literary sage. This, talent cultivation skills, is your introductory cultivation technique. Although its rank is not high, merely a profound rank superior cultivation technique, this method is extremely suited for beginners. You can cultivate magnificent righteous qi with it, laying a foundation for the future. Lu Changsheng took out a cultivation technique. A profound rank superior cultivation technique. Mo Waji doubted she had heard correctly. From the master's tone, a profound rank superior cultivation technique seemed as common as cabbage. Menial workers had no chance to come into contact with cultivation techniques, and outer sect disciples and inner sect disciples generally practiced yellow rank cultivation techniques. Senior, inner sect disciples, with years of accumulated contribution points, might be able to exchange for a profound rank inferior cultivation technique, but even they rarely saw a profound rank superior one. Yet Lu Changsheng would nonchalantly start off with a profound rank superior cultivation technique, even seeming somewhat disdainful. Master, this is too precious, how can I accept it without any contribution? Apart from you, no one else, including myself, is suited to cultivate this technique. Just accept it, with peace of mind. If you cultivate it well and attain sainthood soon, that would be the best reward for me. Lu Changsheng showed displeasure. Was a profound rank superior cultivation technique not some kind of precious object? Disciple understands. Mo Waji was overwhelmed by the favor and not quite accustomed to Lu Changsheng's generosity. Ding, you have rewarded your disciple, Mo Waji, with a profound rank superior cultivation technique, talent cultivation skills, and received a disciple apprenticeship system thousandfold. Return reward. Heaven rank superior cultivation technique, magnificent righteous chi art. Ding, today's rewarding opportunities -1, remaining rewarding opportunities are 2. Magnificent righteous chi art, a heaven rank superior cultivation technique. The name of this method sounded familiar. Wait, isn't this the sect defending skills of the Hidden Dragon Temple? Chapter 55, a heaven rank top tier cultivation technique appeared in Lu Changsheng's Dao Palace Minor realm. This was the sect defending skills of Hidden Dragon Temple, magnificent righteous chi art. Priceless and invaluable, Lu Changsheng cultivated Mount Shu's sect defending skills, the Supreme Purity Limitless technique, and this technique could eventually be bestowed upon Mo Waji, who possessed the body of the literary sage. 3 disciples each trod a different great path, and Lu Changsheng had spared no effort in finding suitable cultivation techniques for them. Although your teacher does not practice the talent cultivation skills, my realm is still capable of leading you into its basics. Lu Changsheng skimmed through the talent cultivation skills, and to him, the profound rank technique seemed as easy as a college student looking at elementary school problems. Lu Changsheng was fully qualified to offer guidance on the mysteries. This disciple will certainly practice diligently and not disappoint master's expectations. Mo Waji said, her face full of seriousness. The talent cultivation skills are different from ordinary techniques. Besides practicing, you Must also read extensively to broaden your knowledge in order to cultivate magnificent righteous chi. And cultivating magnificent righteous chi is just the first step towards becoming a literary sage. Reading. Mo Waji's eyes lit up. This was her favorite thing to do in life. This technique fit her perfectly. Lu Chengsheng explained the key points and difficulties of the talent cultivation skills in detail, which Mo Waji quickly memorized. Lu Chengsheng was inwardly amazed. Mo Waji had one exceptional ability, her photographic memory. This elementary talisman crafting skills can be attempted in addition to your cultivation to refine talismans and become a divine talismancer, said Lu Chengsheng as he took out another cultivation technique. A divine talismancer. In Yu country, where Mo Waji hailed from, the dean of Hanlin Academy was a divine talismancer who could craft talismans up to rank 6, and was courted by both the emperor and numerous loose cultivators, a status akin to a saint, even surpassing that of many princes. Her master actually intended to cultivate her into a highly esteemed divine talismancer. Ding, you have bestowed the yellow rank top-tier cultivation technique, elementary talisman crafting skills, upon your disciple, Mo Waji, receiving 100-fold return reward as a mentor. Profound rank top-tier cultivation technique, intermediate talisman skills. Ding, today's available bestowal count has decreased by 1, with 1 remaining bestowal count left. Ding, you have bestowed the top-tier spiritual artifact, White Fox Spirit Brush, upon your disciple. Mo Waji, receiving 100-fold return reward as a mentor, a middle grade acquired treasure, Heavenly Fox Divine Brush. Ding, today's available bestowal count has decreased by 1, with 0 remaining bestowal count left. Lu Chengsheng bestowed cultivation techniques and treasures one after another, in one go, obtaining the rewards of intermediate talisman skills and the Heavenly Fox Divine Brush. Now, even when Mo Waji reached the Golden Core realm or the Nascent Soul realm, Lu Chengsheng still had items to bestow upon her. Lu Chengsheng briefly explained how to handle the treasures, but as for the talisman skills, it would depend on Mo Waji's own talents. It wasn't possible for Lu Chengsheng to be skilled in everything. Without any special physique, it was unlikely to achieve in talisman crafting a success comparable to the body of the literary sage. I will allocate 10,000 sect contribution points for your use first, and you may proceed to the Scripture Pavilion to borrow various books by yourself. As my formally accepted disciple, your status is that of an inner sect disciple of Mount Shu, permitting your access up to the 3rd floor of the Scripture Pavilion. The sect contribution points of Mount Shu cannot be traded among disciples, but as an elder of Mount Shu, one can allocate one sect contribution points to their disciple. Since Mo Waji's cultivation technique required the extensive reading of books, Lu Chengsheng generously bestowed 10,000 contribution points to her, enabling her to make full use of the treasure trove that was the Mount Shu's Scripture Pavilion. Juror thanks Master greatly, grateful beyond words. Mo Waji thanked him repeatedly, returning to her dwelling on the mountainside with her masters bestowed precious cultivation techniques and spiritual artifacts to practice intensely. System, simulate the life of this little disciple of mine. As the newly accepted disciple was a calamity body, Lu Chengsheng was not at ease. Ding, you have started the life simulation of your disciple, Mo Waji. Closing square bracket. Ding, remaining simulation attempts for today, -1. Simulation starts. At 17, Mo Waji became your disciple, and under your earnest guidance, she broke through to the Qi transformation realm, practiced the talent cultivation skills, and produced her first strand of magnificent righteous Qi. At 18, Mo Waji broke through to the Golden Core realm and became an elementary talismancer. At 25, Mo Waji had read extensively, her cultivation reached the Nascent Soul realm. You taught her the heaven rank cultivation technique, the magnificent righteous Qi art, and Mo Waji began her first disciple experience. During her experience in Yu country, Mo Waji encountered her sworn enemies and was ambushed. Mo Waji perished. Simulation ends. Quote? Lu Chengsheng knew that this disciple was also plagued by misfortune. He had not expected her to encounter her enemies on her first venture from the mountain and meet a tragic end. It seemed he had no choice but to defy the heavens to change her fate himself. System, simulate again. Ding, you have changed the parameters, the system is re-simulating the life of your disciple, Mo Waji. Ding, remaining simulation attempts for today, -1. Simulation starts. At 17, Mo Waji broke through to the Chi transformation realm and produced her first strand of magnificent righteous Chi. At 18, Mo Waji broke through to the golden core realm and became an elementary talismancer. At 25, Mo Waji broke through to the nascent soul realm. During her experience, she encountered the enemy responsible for the destruction of her home. In the moment of crisis, you helped her, assisting Mo Waji in avenging the annihilation of her home. Closing square bracket. At 26, Mo Waji planned to stay at the Hanlin Academy in New Country to cultivate for 3 years, attempting to establish her own school of thought. At 27, Mo Waji met a stranger who helped her on multiple occasions. At 29, the stranger revealed his identity. He was the son of the sect master of the Joyous Union sect, coveting Mo Waji's body of the literary sage. Mo Waji fell into despair upon realizing she could not defeat him and chose to take her own life. Mo Waji perished. Simulation ends. The fate of this little disciple is, plagued by misfortune, was truly not unwarranted. She died. Again, her family destroyed at 5, encountered her sworn enemies at 25, faced a calamitous romance at 27. If it weren't for Liu Chengsheng's ability to simulate her life and find ways to defy destiny, Mo Waji, the literary sage, wouldn't have survived until 30. Indeed, to the man who has his great destiny foreordained, I shall temper his spirit and toughen his sinews and bones. I shall starve his body and skin. The whelp of the Joyous Union sect dares to deceive my disciple. I must intervene before she falls into this calamitous romance and directly slay the son of the sect master of the Joyous Union sect. Liu Chengsheng harbored a murderous intent. The son of the Joyous Union sect master obviously saw that Mo Waji was naive and inexperienced, approaching her under false pretenses, wishing to claim her for himself and use the body of the literary sage as a crucible to achieve the supreme path for the Joyous Union sect. Even if it meant offending the sect master of the Joyous Union sect, Liu Chengsheng was determined to protect this disciple. There's one last simulation opportunity today. What if I were to reveal his identity and slay him with a single strike the moment Mo Waji encountered the son of the Joyous Union sect master? What would happen then? Liu Chengsheng conducted the last simulation. The previous simulation results remained unchanged. At 27, Mo Waji met a man. You suddenly appeared, exposing that the man was the son of the Joyous Union sect master. You acted and killed the man. At 29, Mo Waji successfully established her own school of thought in New Country, broke through to the Dao Palace realm, and returned to Mount Shu. At 30, Mo Waji joined you in battling the 4 great demon sects and the demon race. At 32, Mo Waji fell in a battle, overwhelmed by the retaliation from the Joyous Union sect. Mo Waji perished. Chapter 56. Today's 3 simulation opportunities were used up, and Liu Chengsheng shook his head helplessly. Although Mo Waji possessed the rare body of the literary sage, she was also plagued by misfortune, making her cultivation path extremely perilous, requiring Liu Chengsheng to change her fate against the heavens. Let it be, take one step at a time, there are plenty of opportunities for simulation. Liu Chengsheng was not worried. With his cultivation level, he could totally protect Mo Waji until she became a saint. With the 3rd disciple joining, Qingyan Peak became even more popular, no longer the desolation of the past. If one also counted Chen Yao of Mount Shu who frequently visited Qingyan Peak, then there were 4 juniors. Elder brother Zhao Wuyan occasionally visited Qingyan Peak as well, discussing problems related to cultivation with Liu Chengsheng. 1 month later, on Mount Shu's Bimun Peak, an old woman was cultivating elixir herbs when suddenly a flying sword arrived, and a grand aura descended. Sister, you've worked hard guarding Mount Shu during this time. You're injured. Just a minor injury. I didn't expect the new demon lord of Huang State to have reached such a level of cultivation, otherwise, I would have settled the old scores. The person who had arrived was none other than Taiyuan real person. The old woman's wrinkled face grew even more worried. No good comes without bad intention. Good does not come. With the level of your cultivation, even you were injured by the demon lord. His cultivation is advancing rapidly, which is terrifying. Indeed, Taiyuan real person and the old woman looked towards the endless cloud sea to the south, their faces filled with worry. At Qingyan Peak, Mo Waji was in meditation, cultivating her talent cultivation skills, advancing. Further, the QJC is opened, it's done. Mo Waji opened her bright eyes. With Lu Changsheng's power infusing initiation over the past month, plus Mo Waji's extensive reading of poetry and books in the past, she cultivated the talent cultivation skills naturally, quickly reaching the Qi transformation realm. Inside the cave dwelling, Lu Changsheng's thoughts moved. When a disciple advanced a major realm, the disciple apprenticeship simulator also had rewards. Ding, your third disciple, Mo Waji, has advanced from the foundation establishment realm to the Qi transformation realm. You have received a disciple realm advancement reward, 20. Combat simulation opportunities. You may use these combat simulation opportunities at any time. Combat simulation. Lu Changsheng was stunned. There was such a reward. The former Lu Changsheng had secluded himself on Qingyan Peak for 100 years, rarely going out to gain experience, and after Lu Changsheng's soul traversed, he only left the mountain 3 times. The first was the trip to Huang State, encountering Black Tiger Taoist. The second was to accompany his eldest disciple Lin Qingzi down the mountain, to kill the Joyous Union sect's Wanqi elder. The third was the recent Six Paths Conference, where he faced off against Inquiry Immortal, Pavilion Holy Maiden Shaning She and Reincarnation Hall Elder Evil Sword. Such meager combat experience was too little for a practitioner at the 5th level of the Tao Palace realm. Combat experience was also very important for cultivators. This was why Mount Shu disciples often went down the mountain for training. Even Mount Shu elders would go out to gain sect contribution points and accumulate experience. Originally lacking combat experience, Lu Changsheng found that the rewards of combat simulations from the Disciple Apprenticeship Simulator could perfectly make up for this shortcoming. Start the simulation. Lu Changsheng's divine sense entered a simulated battle scene, as if he were actually there. This was a gloomy mountainous area, crisscrossed with ravines and gullies. A demon sect elder, holding a blood-colored scythe, stood atop one of the weathered peaks, with a cultivation level the same as Lu Changsheng, the 5th layer of the Tao Palace realm. The demon sect elder simulated by the system didn't waste any words. The blood-colored scythe was already slashing through the air towards him. Lu Changsheng summoned the 9 Heavens Imperial Thunder Sword in an attempt to block the blood-colored scythe. Unexpectedly, the blood-colored scythe circled back in the air, accompanied by the sound of clanking chains, and slashed at Lu Changsheng from the side. The scythe carried an overwhelming bloody aura and ghostly wails that made one feel nauseated and sent shivers down one's spine. Taken aback, Lu Changsheng changed hand signs and manipulated the trajectory of the 9 Heavens Imperial Thunder Sword to intercept the blood-colored scythe. The 9 Heavens Imperial Thunder Sword burst with lightning, and the vast sword Qi repelled the blood-colored scythe, suppressing the bloody light. Lu Changsheng's true Qi was several times more robust than that of ordinary cultivators at the same realm. He was virtually invincible in his realm, and only Shaning She, a prodigious talent seen once in 100,000 years, could match him at this level. He. However, this demon sect elder, who wielded the blood-colored scythe as his magical treasure, wasn't as simple as he appeared. Behind him materialized 2 identical figures, each also holding a scythe, a clone technique. Lu Changsheng had come across a record of this divine skill in the Mount Shu archives. Although the clone technique turns 1 into 3, attacking the enemy from all sides, the true QJ is also divided into 3 parts, making both the original body and the clones weaker. Each person bears the realm of the 5th layer of the Tao Palace, but only the true Qi of the 4th layer. With limited combat experience, Lu Changsheng paid extra attention to studying various archives of Mount Shu to increase his knowledge. After 3 cups of tea had passed, Lu Changsheng finally killed the demon sect elder simulated by the system. Though the clone technique had its weaknesses, it still took Lu Changsheng considerable effort to completely deal with the demon sect elder. Ding, you have used 1 combat simulation opportunity. Remaining simulations, 19 times. The system's combat simulation is really impressive. This is indeed a rare opportunity for actual combat. Lu Changsheng realized the importance of this feature. Even if he stayed within the confines of Qin Peak in Mount Shu, without stepping outside, engaged in secluded cultivation, he could still gain precious combat experience without facing real danger to his life. Could this be the legendary mental training method? Lu Changsheng meditated and cultivated, digesting the insights from this battle. Afterward, Liu Changsheng used another combat simulation opportunity. This time, the opponent was a great demon at the 6th layer of the Dao Palace realm. Humanoid with an elephant's head and robust limbs, each punch carrying the force of 10,000 catties. It took Liu Changsheng 2 whole hours to slay the great demon, and in the simulation, he was gravely injured, hanging by a thread. It's indeed extremely challenging to fight across different levels. However, this also shows that, as long as I don't encounter unparalleled geniuses like Li Changye or Sha Ningxie who are invincible within the same realm, I have the capability to fight across levels. My combat experience is still lacking. If I were rich in actual combat experience, I should be able to easily slay an ordinary great demon of the 6th layer of the Dao Palace realm. Liu Changsheng immediately absorbed the experience of fighting across different levels. Opportunities to battle enemies one minor realm higher are rare. It's time for the power-infusing initiation for the disciples again. Now with 3 disciples, as long as any one of them refined the spiritual energy infused by Liu Changsheng, he would continue the initiation process, operating like the unlimited merits machine, keeping it in motion. Liu Changsheng made a point every day to reward his disciples with elixir pills, talismans, magical treasures, and cultivation techniques, especially consumables like elixir pills and talismans. No matter whether used for himself or as gifts to obtain favors, one could never have too many. According to the simulation of Lian's life, my disciple will step into the nascent soul realm in 3 more years. By then, I will be able to reward her with even higher grade cultivation techniques and elixir pills. Liu Changsheng felt somewhat impatient. Rewarding profound rank cultivation techniques had the chance of returning heaven rank techniques. Therefore, rewarding earth rank techniques might potentially bring back techniques even higher in grade than heaven rank ones. Chapter 57. Quinn Peak, a girl around 15 years old, soaked in a medicinal bath concocted from various precious elixirs, her body furiously absorbing all the medicinal powers and growing steadily stronger, every inch of her skin flawless and impeccable. Soon, the overbearing martial king divine physique devoured all the medicinal strength completely. The girl rose from the wooden tub, got dressed, and swung a punch into the air, which carried a fierce wind and shattered a 10,000-pound boulder. Yet, the girl's fist bore not a single scratch. Master said I have the martial king divine physique, and indeed, it's powerful, ha ha ha. With her hands on her hips, the girl laughed heartily, but then she remembered that after this body refinement, she was to attempt a breakthrough from the 9th level of the Golden Core realm to the 1st level of the Nascent Soul realm. Once she reached the Nascent Soul realm, she could become an elder of Mount Shu just like her master. Although an elder at the 1st level of the Nascent Soul realm was the lowest in status at Mount Shu, it was still an elder's position, which was different from the treatment of ordinary disciples. Ha 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 ha. Thinking of how the disciples of Mount Shu she would meet in the future must address her as elder, she laughed joyously once again. Suddenly, a figure appeared, tapped her lightly on the back of her head, and her laughter came to an abrupt halt. Now that you have completed your body refinement, prepare for your breakthrough. I, as your master, will protect you. Should you deviate and succumb to internal demons midway, I will still be able to rescue you. Liu Changsheng seemed slightly impatient. Although Lian was his 2nd disciple, her progress in cultivation was even faster than that of his eldest disciple, Lin Qingzi, and she was very likely to be the first to become an elder at the Nascent Soul realm. Oh, with the arrival of her master, Lian obediently concentrated on her cultivation. If the other elders of Mount Shu find out that Lian has become an elder at merely 15, they will surely feel so ashamed they won't be able to show their faces. Lian's talents are perhaps only slightly less than those of Sha Ningxie, but still not by much. Liu Changsheng watched with satisfaction as his disciple closed her eyes to rest and prepared to charge into the Nascent Soul realm. An elder of Mount Shu at 15 years old, she would rank within the top 10 in the entire history of Mount Shu. The journey from the Foundation Establishment realm to the Qi Transformation realm, and from the Qi Transformation realm to the Golden Core realm, was not considered dangerous. But from the Golden Core realm to the Nascent Soul realm, from the Nascent Soul realm to the Dao Palace realm, and from the Dao Palace realm to the Void Refinement realm, was like a carp leaping through the Dragon Gate, increasingly difficult as one progressed, eventually triggering the heavenly tribulation and ascending to immortality. The original Lu Chengsheng perished after deviating from the path and succumbing to internal demons while attempting to break through from the 9th level of the nascent soul realm to the Dao Palace realm. Lian, as the martial king divine physique, has potential far beyond the nascent soul realm. For her, the nascent soul realm is just the beginning, there shouldn't be any problems. Lu Chengsheng's divine sense sealed off Qingyan Peak. As his first disciple was making a breakthrough into the nascent soul realm, Lu Chengsheng was as vigilant as facing a great enemy. No accidents could be allowed to happen. Lian circulated her purple flame primordial art, lotuses formed of purple flames bloomed, and the temperature in the cave rose suddenly as if it was a flaming mountain. Lu Chengsheng had long been prepared and had set up an array formation within the cave. Otherwise, the commotion caused by Lian's breakthrough into the nascent soul realm would have been enough to destroy the cave dwelling. The disturbance caused by this disciple's breakthrough is quite significant, which also indirectly indicates her limitless prospects. With Lu Chengsheng's current cultivation level, the array formation he set up was not likely to be destroyed by a martial king divine physique who hadn't yet reached the nascent soul realm. Only when Lian reaches the Dao Palace realm will the martial king divine physique be considered to have achieved minor success. Qingyan Peak experienced slight tremors as vast amounts of nature's spiritual energy madly surged towards the cave where Lu Chengsheng was, entering Lian's body to assist in refining her primordial spirit and manifesting the nascent soul. Junior sister is about to make a breakthrough. My talents are not as great as hers, so I must practice even harder, Lin Qingzi thought. Born with the heart of the innocent, he felt no jealousy that his junior sister was progressing faster than him, but instead became even more determined in seeking the Dao and immortal path. The third disciple, Mo Waji, was in the process of crafting a third-rank talisman. With the white fox spirit brush in hand, she moved with fluid grace, and one after another imposing ancient characters appeared on the yellow talisman. Mo Waji had only been following Lu Chengsheng for a year, and she had already become a junior talisman crafter. Afterwards, Lu Chengsheng granted her the intermediate talisman skills. 2 years later, Mo Waji could now craft third-rank talismans. Senior sister is truly formidable. But her path is different from mine. Lian's path in the martial righteous Dao is completely opposite to Mo Waji's approach of proving the Dao through literature. There is no need to feel envious. Lu Chengsheng personally acted as a protector for Lian, spending an entire day and night. When Lian opened her eyes, her aura was many times stronger than it had been in the Golden Core realm. The nascent soul realm is completely different from the Golden Core realm. This is also the difference between the elders of Mount Shu and the disciples of Mount Shu. Ding, your second disciple, Lian, has advanced from the Golden Core realm to the nascent soul realm. You have received the disciple advancement reward, 99 battle simulation opportunities. 9,999 days of cultivation. The sudden award of 9,999 days of cultivation from the disciple apprenticeship system almost caused Lu Chengsheng's body to burst. Lu Chengsheng had already been on the verge of a breakthrough, and now the sudden addition of 9,999 days worth of spiritual energy in his qi within the dantian was incredibly uncomfortable for him. Lu Chengsheng's complexion changed, and he quickly circulated the Taiching Wuji technique, striving to refine this additional spiritual energy as soon as possible, as well as to temper his physique with the excess energy. Master, Lian has made a breakthrough, why aren't you happy? Did Lian do something wrong? Lian, who had been excited to hear Lu Chengsheng's praise, saw his face turn purple as he meditated and practiced, and she worried she had done something wrong, not knowing what to do. Lu Chengsheng was too busy refining the sudden influx of massive amounts of spiritual energy to answer. Master, say something, please. If Lian did something wrong, I won't cause any more trouble from now on. Looking aggrieved, Lian kneeled and sat in front of Lu Chengsheng, waiting for his reprimand. It was a long while before Lu Chengsheng finally recovered. Just now, Lu Chengsheng had almost died from the explosion of his body due to the spiritual energy granted by the system's reward. If he had really exploded and died, then Lu Chengsheng might have become the first person in history to be killed by the good intentions of a system. With the help of the system's reward of 9,999 days of cultivation, Lu Chengsheng could break through at any moment, and the 9 dragons refinement technique had also reached the 6th layer. Lu Changsheng opened his eyes only to find that Lian, who had been kneeling, had fallen asleep. Without him realizing it, occasionally wiping away drool. Lian's character information appeared in Lu Changsheng's mind. Name: Lian. Race: Huang tribe. Talent: Martial King, divine physique, fire spirit root, tragic destiny. Cultivation: first layer of the nascent soul realm. Dao bone: 15 years. Merit: 100. Cultivation technique: 10,000 phenomena. Body refining skills: 8th layer, 10 layers. Purple flame primordial art: 5th layer, 6 layers. Martial technique: rapid dragon break. Items available for bestowal: elixir pills and talismans of the 5th rank or lower, earth rank. Cultivation techniques: acquired spirit treasures. Having broken through to the nascent soul realm, Lian is now eligible for the position of elder. Mount Shu has a specialized organization known as the Record-Keeping Pavilion, which manages the records, monthly allowances, and contribution points of all members of Mount Shu. Should a disciple break through to the nascent soul realm, registering with the record-keeping pavilion allows one to become an elder of Mount Shu, enjoy the treatments of a nascent soul realm elder, and obtain a mountain peak as a personal cultivation retreat. Lian, becoming an elder of Mount Shu at the age of 15, will definitely cause a stir throughout the entire Mount Shu. Lu Changsheng could already imagine the surprise of everyone at the record-keeping pavilion when the time comes. Chapter 58. The Record-Keeping Pavilion, a managing nascent soul realm elder along with several golden core realm disciples, was tallying Mount Shu members' cultivation progress and monthly salary expenditures from the past year. Last year, our Mount Shu witnessed the emergence of 1 Dao Palace realm elder and 2 nascent soul realm elders. Ever since the sect leader ordered a doubling of the monthly stipends, the pace of cultivation for our Mount Shu members has clearly quickened. That's only natural, but the cost is that our Mount Shu's store of heavenly materials and earthly treasures is also being depleted at double the rate. Elder Zhang, Elder Lu from Qingyan Peak and his disciples are here for a visit. Elder Lu from Qingyan Peak. Quick, I must personally greet him. This Elder Zhang of the Record-Keeping Pavilion was one of the 12 elders in charge of Mount Shu, with a cultivation at the 8th level of the nascent soul realm. Lu Changsheng was a Dao Palace realm elder, who had become famous in a battle at the 6 Paths conference 3 years ago, and he was already a celebrity in Mount Shu, with every nascent soul realm elder looking up to him when they saw him. Why would Elder Lu personally come to our record-keeping pavilion? Could it be that there was a mistake, and the cultivation resources allocated to Qingyan Peak were insufficient? If that's indeed the case, I'll make sure it's rectified immediately. Elder Zhang's face changed upon seeing Lu Changsheng arrive with a little devil, thinking that the record-keeping pavilion might not have provided enough cultivation resources for Qingyan Peak. Angering the other party, Lu Changsheng's second disciple, Lian, also had a bit of a reputation in Mount Shu, albeit an infamous one. No, that's not it. I've come to register my disciple. Lu Changsheng took the tea handed to him by a record-keeping pavilion's disciple, savoring it slowly, unhurried. But hasn't your disciple already been registered? She is Elder Lu's disciple, after all, and should receive treatment equal to that of a golden core intersect disciple. Ahem, disciple, show them your current level of cultivation. Yes. Lian suddenly unleashed all of her cultivation, her aura surged dramatically, causing the entire record-keeping pavilion building to shake violently. Nascent soul realm, Elder Zhang, as well as the Mount Shu disciples, other elders present for affairs, and disciples were all taken aback, staring at Lian as if she were a monster. She was only a few years old, yet she had already reached the nascent soul realm. The nascent soul realm was a level of cultivation only Mount Shu's elders possessed. Could it be that this old man is dreaming? Elder Zhang wondered if he was delirious, as Lian had only been at Mount Shu for 8 years. And now she was in the nascent soul realm. My disciple has reached the nascent soul realm, so I've brought her to register. From now on, she is entitled to the treatment of an elder. If there is a mountain peak available in Mount Shu, it would be best if one could be allocated to my disciple. Lu Changsheng had anticipated the shock of the record-keeping pavilion's people, so he himself was the very picture of composure. Very well, someone fetch Lian's file and update it to reflect her status as a nascent soul realm elder. Starting from next month, provide her with cultivation resources at the level of a nascent soul realm elder. As for assigning a mountain peak and cave dwelling, that must be reported to the sect leader. Who will decide which peak to allocate? Elder Zhang took out a handkerchief to wipe the sweat from his forehead. If he remembered correctly, Lu Chengsheng's disciple was only 15 years old. To become an elder of Mount Shu at just 15 years old. The Mount Shu disciples present had been cultivating for anywhere from a dozen to a couple 100 years and were still disciples of Mount Shu. They might not become elders in their lifetimes. According to our Mount Shu's records, only the ancestral master and 3 peerless geniuses entered the nascent soul realm before the age of 15. Elder Lu's disciple can be ranked 5th in history. I never imagined that one day, I would actually meet a talent within the top 5 in history. Thinking of the records of Mount Shu, Elder Zhang felt a profound sense of wonder. The ancestral master who founded Mount Shu was naturally a once-in-a-lifetime genius among geniuses, and the other 3 peers whose talents surpassed Elder Lian's eventually became sect leaders of Mount Shu as well. Could it be? Impossible. Elder Zhang couldn't imagine what kind of chaos would ensue if Lian, who was always stirring up trouble, became the sect leader of Mount Shu. Lian doesn't want a cave residence. Lian wants to stay with Master at Qingyan Peak forever. After some thought, Lian felt that having an exclusive mountain peak was so dull and uninteresting. It was better to stay at Qingyan Peak, where her master would periodically perform the power-infusing initiation and bestow treasures, and she had the company of her senior brothers and sisters like Lin Qingzi, Mo Huaji, and Chen Yao. You will always need your own cave residence, but you can stay at Qingyan Peak anytime you want. Now that everything has been settled, we will take our leave. Elder Lu, and Elder Lian, please take your time. Elder Zhang of the record-keeping pavilion and a group of Mount Shu disciples found it awkward to address Lian, who was only 15, as an elder. Alas, I have cultivated in Mount Shu for over 200 years, and I've only reached the 8th level of the nascent soul realm. Compared to her, it seems like I've lived these years in vain. Elder Zhang watched the retreating figures of Lu Changsheng and Lian, shaking his head helplessly. Gifted with the martial king divine physique, her cultivation speed was astonishing. Mortals simply couldn't compare. Wait, Elder Lu's cultivation is unfathomable. Even standing still, nature's spiritual energy gathers around him. It's truly astonishing. Did Elder Lu gain new insights after the end of the 6 Paths conference? I wonder what his current level of cultivation is. Elder Zhang's attention was once again drawn to Lu Changsheng, feeling that there was something extraordinary about him. The appearance of a 15-year-old elder shook Mount Shu. Although Lian was not the first such young elder in Mount Shu, she was the first 15-year-old elder in nearly 30,000 years. At Ziyu Peak, Elder Zhao Wuyan of the Dao Palace realm of Mount Shu was stunned like a wooden chicken upon hearing this news. Firstly, 5 years ago at the Mount Shu Disciple Conference, Lian, the disciple of Lu Changsheng, defeated his disciple Yang Ren. And now, 5 years later, she had become an elder of Mount Shu. Directly, in the span of 5 years, Yang Ren, under the guidance of Zhao Wuyan, managed to progress from the first layer to the 3rd layer of the Golden Core realm. It was true that Lian's talent was astonishing, but at most, she had only been a disciple for 8 years. Comparing himself to Lu Changsheng in terms of mentoring disciples, Zhao Wuyan felt there was a huge gap. Secondly, Zhao Wuyan was frustrated that he was not the first to learn of this sensational news. It was hard to accept. The martial king divine physique of the Huang tribe really is formidable, and Changsheng has a way with mentoring disciples. Fire Lotus Peak, the cave residence of the 9th sect leader, has been vacant until now. I think we should assign Fire Lotus Peak to this disciple of Changsheng's. At the back mountain of Mount Shu, sect leader Taiyuan, after hearing the report from Elder Zhang of the record-keeping pavilion about Lian's promotion to elder, opened his eyes and made the decision. Elder Zhang was stunned upon hearing this, but sect leader, Fire Lotus Peak is located at the back mountain, and the back mountain is where the supreme elders engage in secluded cultivation. According to tradition, the cave residences for the younger generation of elders should be at the front mountain. Mount Shu was divided into a front and a back mountain. Lu Changsheng's Qingyan Peak and Zhao Wuyan's Ziyu Peak were at the front mountain, serving as residences for the younger generation of elders. Even the cave residence of the eldest senior brother, Li Changye, was no exception, whereas Bimun Peak and Fire Lotus Peak were located at the back mountain. Designated for Supreme Elders. Fire Lotus Peak is not an ordinary cave residence, just do as I say. Yes, Elder Zhang didn't understand the sect leader's intention, but since it was the sect leader's wish, what could he, a nascent soul realm elder, say more? At this moment, Lu Changsheng, taking Lian back to Qingyan Peak, began to exploit the system. Once more. Chapter 59. Because Lian had reached the nascent soul realm, Lu Changsheng could bestow upon her more advanced treasures. Lian's 10,000 phenomena body refining skills was 2 levels short of perfection, and her purple flame primordial art was 1 level short of perfection. Before these 2 cultivation techniques were perfected, Lu Changsheng had no plans to impart to Lian any higher level techniques. A profound rank cultivation technique perfected was more powerful than an earth rank technique at the beginner's stage. Only after perfecting these 2 sets of profound rank cultivation techniques would Lian's foundation be more robust, making the cultivation of other techniques much more effective. Lu Changsheng planned to first teach Lian more advanced martial techniques. Lian's profound rank mid-grade martial technique, Rapid Dragon Break, had already reached perfection. With her martial king divine physique, learning martial techniques was as easy as flipping her hand. Today, your master will transmit to you an earth rank lower grade martial technique, the Primordial 6 Harmonies Spear 1. With your foundation in the profound rank technique, Rapid Dragon Break, and your martial king divine physique, mastering an earth rank martial technique will not be difficult. First, memorize the mnemonic verse and moves, then your master will demonstrate for you. Lu Changsheng took out an earth rank lower grade martial technique from a book he had exchanged at the Mount Shu Scripture Pavilion to transmit to Lian. Good. Lian was overjoyed. Her realm was finally at the level where she could learn earth rank martial techniques. What is the 6 harmonies? Heart unites with will unites with chi unites with strength, shoulder unites with hip, ribs unite with knees, hand unites with foot. For each unity, there's a set of main spear techniques. 1 spear technique divides into 6, totaling 36 spear techniques, plus 6 burst flare techniques, summing up to 42 spear techniques. Lu Changsheng, holding a red tassel spear, demonstrated the primordial 6 harmonies spear techniques for Lian. Lian sat upright, mesmerized, etching each move into her mind. Lu Changsheng demonstrated the 42 spear techniques 3 times, then put away the spear and took a long breath. It was an earth rank martial technique indeed. Even with Lu Changsheng's cultivation, he broke a sweat after earnestly demonstrating each detail. Although the disciple cannot yet reproduce every detail, I have remembered them, said Lian. Lian took out her red fire spear and performed the primordial 6 harmonies spear technique. Ding, you have transmitted an earth rank lower grade martial technique, primordial 6 harmonies spear, to your disciple, Lian, and received the disciple teaching tenfold return. Reward, an immortal rank lower grade martial technique, Emperor's 6 harmonies spear. In Lu Changsheng's Dao Palace minor realm, a cultivation technique manual appeared, exuding a thread of immortal qi, which nearly caused the collapse of Lu Changsheng's Dao Palace. An immortal rank martial technique. It was the first time Lu Changsheng had obtained a martial technique higher than heaven rank. If the Martial Alliance were to learn that Lu Changsheng possessed an immortal rank martial technique manual, they would surely visit immediately, trying to negotiate for the manual. Lu Changsheng attempted to view the content of this immortal rank martial technique. Enduring the pressure from that wisp of immortal qi, Lu Changsheng barely managed to open the first page. His divine sense entered a realm of chaos, where a gigantic figure, mountain-like in stature, appeared, standing between heaven and earth, wielding a long spear, demonstrating martial techniques where each move was natural and never-ending in transformations. No, my realm is too low, completely incapable of comprehending its profundity, Lu Changsheng realized as he withdrew from the conceptual world, his Taoist robe soaked with sweat. To someone at the Dao Palace realm, an immortal rank martial technique was like an incomprehensible scripture. Lu Changsheng might mimic the moves, but the essence and details were beyond his copy. And that was just the first page. An immortal rank martial technique, even the Martial Alliance might not possess many, even if they do, it would be a sect-protecting martial technique. Perhaps in the future, it could be used to negotiate with the Martial Alliance, he thought. Lu Changsheng realized the value of heaven rank martial techniques, even if he could not use them himself, he could still teach them to his disciples or trade them. Master, the earth rank cultivation technique consumes too much spiritual energy, Lian said. After executing a complete set of primordial 6 harmonies spear technique, wiping off her sweat, at the first level of the nascent soul realm, using an earth rank cultivation technique was quite taxing. As your cultivation improves, it will become easier and easier. Next, your master will give you a new treasure, said Lu Changsheng as he flipped his wrist, revealing a long spear completely red in his hand. Thank you, master. Lian excitedly took the long spear, which was a low-grade acquired spirit treasure. Spirit treasures, in comparison to spiritual artifacts, already possessed a spirit. Many Mount Shu elders could unite with their swords. The flying swords they used were either acquired or innate spirit treasures. Ding, you have awarded your disciple, Lian, a low-grade acquired spirit treasure, Wrathful Flame Spear, and received a 1,000-fold return reward for mentoring, a mid-grade innate spirit treasure, 9 Revolutions True Fire Spear. The 9 Revolutions True Fire Spear was of a higher quality than Lu Changsheng's own 9 Heaven's Imperial Thunder Sword. When a disciple reached the nascent soul realm, the quality of treasures Lu Changsheng awarded clearly reached a higher level. However, Lu Changsheng was a sword cultivator and was accustomed to using flying swords. He seldom used a long spear as a treasure. Among his 3 disciples, only the eldest, Lin Qingzi, was truly destined to inherit Lu Changsheng's mantle. Lin Qingzi practiced the Tokshuan skills that Lu Changsheng had learned, and also used a flying sword as his treasure. When Lin Qingzi attempts to break through to the nascent soul realm, if Lu Changsheng awards him a flying sword, the system will likely return a higher grade flying sword. If it were to return an immortal artifact, Lu Changsheng might not even be able to activate it. Normally, even the 6 sect leaders would not recklessly wander around with immortal artifacts. Their main weapons in battle would be innate spirit treasures because activating an immortal artifact required too much spiritual energy, which was too much for the sect leaders to sustain. To the 6 great sects, immortal artifacts were akin to heirloom treasures. Here is a 5th grade elixir pill, Scarlet Blood Consolidating Essence Pill, which can treat injuries and restore vitality. Use it when injured. Lu Changsheng began to award 5th grade elixir pills to his disciple. Ding, you have awarded your disciple, Lian, a 5th grade elixir pill, Scarlet Blood Consolidating Essence Pill, and received 500-fold return reward for mentoring, a 7th grade elixir pill, Phoenix Blood Revival Pill. Phoenix Blood Revival Pill, a divine pill refined from a drop of true blood of the legendary divine beast Phoenix, combined with various heavenly materials and earthly treasures, which can restore vitality, resist cold and yin energies, and has a certain detoxifying effect. Giving a 5th grade elixir pill and getting a 7th grade one in return so easily. In the past, when Lu Changsheng gifted 2nd or 3rd grade elixir pills, the returned pills were mostly 4th grade, 5th grade, or 6th grade. Now, giving 4th or 5th grade elixir pills, the probability of receiving 7th or even 8th grade pills in return naturally increased, and there might even be a chance to receive 9th grade pills. The potency of an 8th grade pill was such that Lu Changsheng himself found it hard to bear. He could not imagine how terrifying the potency of a 9th grade pill would be. Having used up the 3 reward opportunities, he could only wait until tomorrow. As long as he continued to gift elixir pills to Lian, Lu Changsheng could quickly accumulate a pouch full of 7th grade pills. These were 7th grade pills that could make even the 6 great sects crave. Elder Lu, I am Elder Zhang from the record-keeping pavilion. The sect leader has approved the provision of a cave dwelling for your disciples' cultivation, said a Mount Shu elder who came to visit Qingyan Peak and met Lu Changsheng. Oh, which mountain peak is it? Inquired Lu Changsheng. Fire Lotus Peak. Isn't that a mountain peak in the back mountain? Indeed. Fire Lotus Peak was the cave dwelling of Immortal Green Lotus, the 9th sect leader of Mount Shu. It has been vacant for 300,000 years. I also do not understand why the sect leader would arrange for Fire Lotus Peak to be given to your disciple. Immortal Green Lotus's Fire Lotus Peak. Lu Changsheng had read about the past sect leaders of Mount Shu in the sect's records. Immortal Green Lotus was one of the few female sect leaders of Mount Shu, who considered herself an immortal and was already an ancient figure from 300,000 years ago. Chapter 60. Taoist Li, we entrust this matter to Mount Shu. Next year, the offering of heavenly materials and Earthly treasures from Great Sha to Mount Shu will increase by 50%. In the Grand Hall of Mount Shu, the 7th Prince of Sha Kingdom bade farewell to Li Changye. With a deep bow, respectfully leading a group of imperial guards and followers down the mountain, Song Wechuan, the second senior brother, appeared. Eldest senior brother, what has happened? In Sha Kingdom, recently, more than 10 cities in Sha Kingdom have been attacked by elders of the demon sects. Some cities have even been refined by these elders using blood formations, leading to devastating losses of life. The royal family, literary court, and imperial guards of Sha Kingdom are worn out from dealing with the crisis. Therefore, they have requested our Shu Mountain sect to dispatch troops to eliminate the demon sect's branches within Sha Kingdom. Those from the demon sects dare to use the against heaven blood formation so recklessly because they are desperate to enhance their cultivation. As Mount Shu has always been known for upholding justice, we cannot stand idly by. Eldest senior brother, this is an opportune time to assign the task of purging the Sha Kingdom of demon sect strongholds to our newly promoted elders as an assessment that would be feasible under normal circumstances. However, the demon sects have become excessively bold this time, refining cities within the influence of our Mount Shu. There's likely a great demon head overseeing their operations. It would be a death sentence if the newly promoted elders encounter a demon chief on their own. Then it's better if the more experienced elders from the Dao Palace realm head the mission, accompanied by a group of newly promoted elders and Golden Core realm disciples, forming 12 teams to descend the mountain and eliminate demons. That's a workable plan. Should we discover any trace of a demon chief, I'll go down the mountain personally. Li Changye clenched his fist, his firm gaze filled with strong self-confidence. Even if he were to face the supreme elders of the demon sects, he would still possess the strength to fight. My disciple, Xiao Shangdao, has the spirit sword physique, and his comprehension of the sword Dao has made tremendous leaps in recent years. His cultivation has reached the 9th level of the Golden Core realm. If there's trouble in Mount Shu, my disciple cannot remain indifferent. Let him also descend the mountain for training. Perhaps through this experience, he may find the opportunity to break through to the nascent soul realm. On Qingyan Peak, Lu Changsheng was training using the battle simulation feature of the disciple apprenticeship simulator. This time, the simulator's opponent was the formidable eldest senior brother, Li Changye. Lu Changsheng, fighting against the simulated, Li Changye, quickly found himself overpowered and defeated. Yet, Lu Changsheng gleaned numerous insights from the simulation. There's something off about the eldest senior brother's cultivation. Lu Changsheng had simulated several battles, and it wasn't that he hadn't been matched against other 9th level Dao Palace realm adversaries, but the eldest senior brother, Li Changye, was inexplicably much stronger than the others, seemingly beyond the category of the Dao Palace realm. A Golden Core realm disciple of Mount Shu arrived at Qingyan Peak. Elder Lu, according to our sect's rules, newly promoted elders must complete an assessment mission at least once. Eldest senior brother has announced an assessment mission, and your disciple, Elder Lian, is among the chosen. Additionally, eldest senior brother hopes that you will lead a team of disciples down the mountain for training, to vanquish demons and eliminate evil. An elder assessment. Lu Changsheng was aware of such matters. Nascent soul realm elders, Dao Palace realm elders, supreme elders upon each promotion, they must complete an assessment mission, since Mount Shu provides abundant cultivation lands enriched with nature's spiritual energy, and each month, they receive heavenly materials and earthly treasures. As an elder, one must contribute to Mount Shu. Lian, having become a nascent soul realm elder, also needed to complete an assessment mission. For this assessment mission, the eldest senior brother actually wanted him to lead a team down the mountain for training, which was unexpected for Lu Changsheng. Lu Changsheng's publicly recognized cultivation level was still at the 5th level of the Dao Palace realm from 3 years ago. The necessity of a Dao Palace realm 5th level elder to lead the team spoke volumes about the difficulty of this assessment mission. Why does the assessment mission require a Dao Palace realm elder to lead? The demon sects are wreaking havoc. Many cities in Sha Kingdom have been refined by blood formations. The royal family of Sha Kingdom has requested our aid from Mount Shu, and the mission for this training is to eradicate the demon sect's footholds within Sha Kingdom. I see now. Understood. So what is your decision, Elder Lu? Lead the team. Lu Changsheng, having simulated numerous life and death battles over 3 years, possessed rich experience. Even when facing adversaries of higher realms, he had acquired some life-saving techniques and experiences. Leading a team down the mountain for training was not a major problem. Excellent. This time, 12 teams of elders and disciples will descend the mountain, each led by a Dao Palace Realm Elder. I take my leave now. After receiving Lu Changsheng's confirmation, the Golden Core Realm disciple left on a flying sword. 12 teams. Lu Changsheng knew that the competition between the 6 orthodox sects and the 4 demon sects had begun, and this was merely a probe. The Xia Kingdom was within the sphere of influence of Mount Shu, and the 4 demon sects were brazenly refining the cities of the Great Xia, using millions of lives as a blood sacrifice, which was nothing short of rampant. Mount Shu dispatched 12 teams in one breath to descend the mountain and eradicate demons, with each team led by an elder of the Dao Palace realm, also including nascent soul realm elders and Golden Core realm disciples descending the mountain, a rather grand gesture. Lian, as a newly promoted elder, you need to complete an assessment mission. Given your special identity, you'll be in the same team as your mentor and I will make arrangements to protect your safety, but I hope you can try to resolve issues on your own. During the period of your training outside the mountain, you'll go by the name Lu Qinglian. Lu Changsheng called over 3 disciples and explained the situation. Lu Changsheng would have to leave Qingyan Peak for some time, and as a newly promoted elder, Lian also needed to descend the mountain to complete her assessment task. Lu Changsheng applied to join the same team as Lian with the eldest disciple. Firstly, Lian's identity was special, and other elders might not be able to protect her, while Lu Changsheng's cultivation level was not as simple as it seemed on the surface, plus he had the disciple apprenticeship simulator to simulate Lian's future and avoid misfortune. Secondly, with Lu Changsheng leading the team, even if they left Mount Shu, having disciples around would still allow him to exploit the system's loopholes. The eldest disciple agreed to it readily. Among the younger generation of elders in Mount Shu, aside from a few people like Li Changye and Song Wechuan, no one was more suitable than Lu Changsheng to lead the team and protect Lian. That's great. Lian was overjoyed to hear she could descend the mountain. This was her second time descending the mountain to personally face various difficulties, no longer just hiding behind her master. Master, your disciple is now at the 9th level of the Golden Core Realm and I feel I have hit a bottleneck. Can I participate in this training? Lin Qingzi self-recommended. If you wish to seek a breakthrough, you cannot stay by your master's side, as it will lead to dependency. I will assign you to Elder Zhao's team. Thank you, Master. Lu Changsheng had high hopes for his eldest disciple. The eldest disciple Lin Qingzi was truly the practitioner walking the same great path as Lu Changsheng. Once Lin Qingzi broke through to the nascent soul realm, Lu Changsheng would be able to bestow upon him higher level cultivation techniques and a flying sword, and his power-infusing initiation would be able to bear more spiritual energy. Lin Qingzi's cultivation had reached the pinnacle of the Golden Core realm just one step away from the threshold. This life and death training was an opportunity. Otherwise, if Lin Qingzi remained at the 9th level of the Golden Core realm, Lu Changsheng would not be able to perform the power-infusing initiation for him, as the excess spiritual energy would cause Lin Qingzi's body to explode and die. Juror, you stay behind at Qingyan Peak. Lu Changsheng arranged for his 3rd disciple, Mo Waji, to stay behind and guard the cave dwelling. Mo Waji was immersed in music, chess, calligraphy, and painting, and even if she was alone with books for company, she wouldn't feel lonely. Furthermore, Mo Waji had only entered the Golden Core realm not long ago, making this training mission too dangerous for her. Your disciple will bear this in mind. Mo Waji agreed. At Ziyu Peak, Shu Mountain Elder Zhao Wuyan was requested by the eldest disciple to lead a team to descend the mountain and eliminate demons. Seeing the roster for his team, Zhao Wuyan's expression immediately drooped like a withered chrysanthemum. Eldest disciple, Lu. The Supreme Elders have all shoved their disciples into my little team. If we get wiped out, the pressure on me, Zhao Wuyan, would be way too huge.